it's driving down the road. You're like, this thing's not that fucking bad. You got a little bit of a rear end noise, We're going to look at the rear end and check that. Then you get under it and you're like, oh, there's not even a bolt in the brake pedal. And it's just wire. I didn't feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing the things that you stress over.
And that people can get away with.
And then the people can get away with. They've been under those cars like, how's it still going?
There's no bolts holding the transmission to the cross member. How?
It's just but it's not a vibration one. Welcome to Oil and Whiskey, an Ironclad original. I am Josh Henning.
I'm Phil Gerber.
I'm Jeremy Gerber.
Welcome everybody back to Oil and Whiskey, an Ironclad original. Today we're going to be talking with the owner of BBT Fabrications, Troy. Go ahead.
You go ahead. Let's hear what you got.
It's either
Gudgel.
Gudgel.
I like to put a little
Gudgel?
inflection on the end.
I'll take that.
Gudgel.
It's Gudgel.
Gudgel.
For some reason, everybody always puts an R in it.
I threw an R on it.
Yeah, pretty sure there's
like-
an R in it when you spell it.
Yeah, no R. I don't know
sure
where that
what,
comes from.
I don't like Gudgel as much as I like Gudgel.
All right, I'll take that. I'm okay with that.
That'd be a good story time about the last name.
That would be. Not yours.
No, not yours.
Josh.
Somebody told me they didn't like my last name. Want to know if there's anything I could do about it. Well, today we're going to be talking with BBT Fabrications owner, Troy Gudgel. His shop just took home the Good-Guys 2022 PPG Street Machine of the Year Award. Well deserved. We've also got a brand new in the glove box and listener questions. But first, we're going to do a little sit-down talk with Troy. We're going to get straight into the interview. Troy Gudgel is the owner of BBT Fabrications. The Illinois-based shop combines form and function, specializing in everything from paint and bodywork and interiors to ground-up builds. Their builds including Sid Tracy's 1969 Firebird, Vic Buraglio's 1963 and a half. Vic Buraglio, good?
Buraglio. Close.
silent
That's not
G.
bad. Not bad.
We got silent G's, silent R's.
Yeah. No silent R's.
Put a little X to the G.
Appearing R's.
It's silent. All right. Their builds including Sid Tracy's 69 Firebird, Vic Buraglio's 63 and a half Gelaxie, John Fry's 70 Lasalle, and Vic Buraglio's 69 have all taken home major awards at shows including the Good-Guys GOLD Award at SEMA, Street Rodder Magazine Top 100 list, the Good-Guys Kenny Davis Builder's Choice Awards, NSRA Louisville Nationals Pros Pick, and many more, such as, 2 weeks ago? It's a 2-week-old Street Machine of the Year award, right? 3 weeks.
That's a fresh one.
Didn't
Still
even
hot.
make it on the cue card.
Yeah. You can follow BBT on Instagram at BBT Fab. Troy Gudgel, welcome to Oil and Whiskey.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming.
It's always better when we can do them in person.
It's much better. So
And that wraps it up.
Yeah.
This
Thanks
All
for
right.
coming. This was great. This was a fun time.
This street machine, are you still riding the high off that street machine? Or
Yeah,
was
I mean,
it-
it's pretty cool. It's something we've been trying to do for a while, but it's still kind of surreal that it happened. We went out for that several times and always been the bridesmaids, so didn't really expect to get much more than that again. And
I think we've been part of the bridal party with you a few years.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
yeah, so yeah, it was pretty cool. I think it was finally the right car too to do it with. It was out there and wild, not for everybody, but for some and for the owners. So that's really all we care about.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. That car was the talk of what was going to be the banger Street Machine of the Year this year, and that's why our Grand National didn't go. I decided to hold it back.
We didn't want to be
I'm like-
bridesmaids.
Yeah, I'm like, that Firebird's gone. I think we'll just sit on the Grand National. SEMA's probably better for it.
Looking at the Firebird at SEMA last year, I mean, fuck the details. I mean, under the hood, that's one of my favorite under the hoods.
Yeah.
Engine
Lot of cool
bays
shit
of
going on.
any vehicle ever built. Seriously, I mean, the finishes, the textures and stuff, and then knowing that you've had to fuck around with it too and how good it looked at Columbus. I mean,
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Can edit all that out.
Well,
We're not.
You've put
No, you
you've
can.
put
I
it
don't.
on-
Shit, I
That's
don't
part
care.
of-
It's all
that's-
part of
that's
it,
part of
man.
what we all do.
It means more to me, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
you beat
testament
on it.
of
Yeah,
what it's
yeah.
So
used for.
tell everybody that doesn't maybe know what I was alluding to, the fact of how it wasn't brand new at Columbus.
No, far from it. So obviously we built the car, finished it for SEMA last year. Put put a decent bit of miles on it before SEMA, and by decent 50, which is a lot in our book. And then after SEMA came back, and we live in Illinois, so the weather's shit. So we're done with the car until April. Actually, I take that back. I did drive it in December on the interstate way too fast. But I think it was because we had one decent weekend or something. Anyways, comes back out early April. We get to drive it, get it tuned. Got about 500 miles on the car. Really shook it down good. And then we took it to, at the end of April, we took it to Blytheville, Arkansas for the standing mile. And the whole goal for that car from day one was to run 200 mile an hour in a standing mile. That was part of the build from day one. The owner, Brad, wanted to do that. Everything else snowballed. So anyway, so we're in Arkansas, and we're running the car. And since he had never ran, we had never ran, the car had never ran, you had to go through licensing classes, half mile, 3/4 mile, and then they would release you for the 1 mile. So we do our half mile run, we do our 3/4 mile run, and we're cleared to do our mile. During our 3/4 mile run, we started noticing some issues with the car, the way it was handling. Hadn't introduced any boost to the car yet, still running on wastegate pressure. And so I think it was a Friday, I think I called Phil, and he was like, "Oh, do this with the shocks, da da da." So we did that, and the car changed totally, but in a different direction, still not for the good. So we get into running a mile pass, and we've got John Jackson there with the GoPros in the car, so we're able to go back and look at video of the car running, and the car's just kind of wandering all over the place. And so I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's like almost like something's loose. So we've got this thing, we're working on it all night Friday night, and then finally I sent the video to Jeremy, and he's like, "Oh man, I know exactly what it is." And I'm like, fucking awesome. And so we sorted the issue out with that, and it's Friday night when we're working on it, 8 o'clock at night. We can't run it again, so we're like, well, we hope it fixed it. Saturday morning comes along, and we get up to run. We're like, we're gonna get here early. We're gonna be like one of the first cars in line. I think we're like 8 or 9 cars in line out of, I don't know, I think they probably had 100 there that day. And 5 or 6 cars run. It's windy, and they decide 25 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts we're shutting the course down. So we're like, shit, man. We didn't get a good run on Friday. You know, we don't know if we have the car sorted out or what. So they go on a wind delay. And it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. And we're looking at the forecast, and it's supposed to be windy all damn day. So we just hang out all day long at the track, because we've already worked on the car the night before and got it to where we thought we needed it. Finally, 3:30 rolls around, and they open the course back up. No motorcycles, just cars, and send a couple cars out. At that time, I think it was like just under 20 mile an hour headwinds. They wanted to be under 20 mile an hour to open the course back up. So they opened the course back up. So we 3:30, 4 o'clock, we finally get our first run in. Car's rock solid, not staying straight as an arrow, not moving around. I think we ran 178 mile an hour or something on our first pass on wastegate pressure again. So at that point, it's like, okay, let's start turning up the boost. So I think we ran maybe 2 or 3 more times that day before they shut the track down. Our last pass that night was our fast pass, and we ran 196.3 mile an hour. And we're like I said, we're going up against, I think at that time it was 16, 17 mile an hour headwinds. And so we're like, all right, cool. So we need good weather conditions or more power. So Sunday we did both. Sunday morning we're like, shit, weather conditions are perfect. We're going to crank up the boost a little bit more. And so we did. And first pass, we're like, we got there early again, had everything ready. And the rookies that we are, we forgot to open the CO2 bottles. So car's cool, everything's perfect, weather conditions are perfect. We forget to open up the CO2 bottles. So we got no boost. So car's still run.
CO2 to control the
CO2 is controlling the wastegate spring. So no CO2, we're just on spring pressure. I think it was 7 or 8 pounds of boost. So we come back, get right back in line, and open up the bottles this time. And I think at that point in time we're at 22 pounds of boost. Go out, first pass, blow a intercooler tube off the damn thing. Second pass, come back, get back in line, run it again, and next pass. I think this is our final pass of the weekend, and shot a heater hose line off inside the car.
Ooh.
Yeah. So at that
I've been
point,
there.
That's a
game
messy
over.
one.
So we knew going into this that there was a limitation on what amount of power the engine would hold before it would start pushing the heads and basically blowing the head gaskets. And so we hit that magic number, which was supposed to be somewhere around 13 or 1400 horsepower. When we dynoed the car, we dynoed it at 17 pounds of boost. It made like 906 horsepower to the tire. And our last pass, we were putting down 24 pounds of boost. So quite a bit higher. So at that point, our day's over, our weekend's over. We fried some electronics in the car because of the coolant going everywhere. So we load the car up, go home. Felt good about everything. Really, the car did perfect. I mean, there was no issues at all once we got through Friday and sorted out some of the suspension issues. The car was perfect. Went straight down the track. No movement hardly at all. It was just we need more power or more aerodynamics or less wind. One of the three things. So it was the only option was more power at that point. So we came back and like talked to the owner and the tuner and like, what's the plan now? Like the goal was 200 mile an hour. We fell short of that. And so what do? We can mess with the aerodynamics. That's no problem. And we can potentially mess with more power. So how do we rebuild this engine to hold more power? So
Power is the easy one, right? Aerodynamics, you got to be pretty smart. You need a wind tunnel.
exactly.
It's like you got to do
can
a little
overcome
math.
that
Yeah.
with some power.
Yeah, I mean, I had built like these makeshift duct bills for the rear spoiler out of aluminum that I was going to rivet onto the back of the spoiler. It's on the car if we needed more down force. All kinds of ideas that I had brought with us to the track, and we didn't need any of that, which I was surprised because when we built all that stuff, I had no clue what I was doing as far as trying to make this thing run down the track at 200 mile an hour and keep it planted to the ground. So pretty happy with how the car did as far as that goes. It was more of a power issue. So, moving forward, the owner's like, shit, man, I'm addicted. Now I'm going to go back. I'm like, okay, here we go. So what are we going to do to make this thing keep this thing together? And so we ended up coming back, tearing the engine completely down. We had the engine back out of the car 3 days later after we got back, fixed all of our electronic issues, sent the engine over to Aaron Carpenter at Karma Performance, and he tore it all down, and then we fire-ringed the block. So it should hold the power this time. We're going to go back in Arkansas in October and run it again, and 200 is the magic number. So we'll see what can happen there. But it was kind of we had a month and a half basically to get the car apart, back together, cleaned up, fixed a bunch of rock chips because it got beat to shit while we were doing that, and got it back running like 3 days before we went to Columbus.
It
So-
never fails. Even like if you have the car done nearly a year before debuting it at a show like that, you still
Yeah.
are thrashing to get
Yeah.
it done.
Yeah. So if there wasn't ever a car show to go to, we'd never get anything.
Yep.
I feel like so.
That's
It's true.
talk about that a lot. It's really just the deadline. The show doesn't really mean anything. It's just
Yeah.
it's a hard stop.
Yeah.
They canceled SEMA one year, and everybody was still hustling to get their cars done for SEMA the next year, the same car.
That's
So
right. We were supposed to
got
be
more
there.
time,
The year
you're
it
gonna-
was canceled.
A little different setting a car up, suspension tuning wise for 200 miles an hour than on the street, I guess.
Oh man, we learned so much during that process because the car was great. You could run down the interstate at 140 mile an hour and it was perfect. And it wasn't until about 160 that it started doing some of this wobbling stuff that I was talking about. We would have never known that had we would have sent that car to that customer and never known that there was an issue. But being able to do something like that, we were able to
That's just
Fine
cars setting down that much
issue.
more at that speed.
It's that's what makes it happen. But the only reason when you called, I'm like, dude, I got it, because I experienced the exact same thing. We had the bump steer spacers that they're there just to absorb some thread, and we had a guy put them together wrong on a Corvette here where he flip-flopped them. And I took the car out and I was, kind of winding it out. The car was just about like ready for delivery at that point. So I'm driving it hard and it would do the same thing. It would kind of like sit down in the back and you get this like kind of shimmy. I'm like, what the hell we've been building. This is the
Right.
Same independent rear we've been building for 10 years. The thing rocks. So I look under the car. I'm like, man, it's got to be something with the toe links, you know. Take a peek under there. I'm like, bam, that's it. So I was nervous as hell when you're calling me, telling me what's going on. And then when you told me that, I'm like, oh, this is easy. It's easy. I got it. I know what it is.
And it was like
we fucked it up ourselves, so we're good.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great. I mean, you know as well as I do. I mean, on the chassis side, especially on a car to that level, that thing's been apart and together. I mean, so many times. I mean, between bodywork and powder coat and put this, you know, test fit this, mock this up, and all that. I mean, one washer,
Yeah.
you know, spacer other side makes that's just stuff that happens.
Yeah, and I mean, I one of my real good buddies was there with us that used to crew a car NHRA team for 8 or 10 years. He was there with us, and you know, I was picking his brain, and he called the driver Sean Langdon that he used to work for and was talking to him about it. And I had another buddy that ran on Indy cars, and I was talking to him about it. I was telling all these guys, and they're all like, "Oh, it's this, it's that, or whatever," and it was just something so simple as what it ended up being. The weird thing about the whole situation is back previously, and like that night I was telling you I took it out in December, a buddy of mine was in town, the guy, Jameson, that owns that gold Chevelle, and he's like, I want to go for a ride in that car. And I was like, well, fuck, it's actually decent out this weekend. We'll go take it out. And it hadn't been driven since we got back from SEMA. We take it out, and it's evening, and I hop on the interstate, and I'm getting after it. And the next thing you know, I'm like, fuck, I'm already doing 120. I got to run this thing 200 at some point anyway, so I'm just going to see what it'll do. And so I'm like,
I-55 is
in
where it's
Mexico,
at.
right?
yeah, somewhere right there. So I got out, and like I think when I lifted off the throttle, we were doing 170, and on the interstate, and the roads were shit where we're at. So it started doing that shimmy shit to me, but I didn't think about it before I took it out. It had a screw in one of the back tires, hadn't been aligned yet. What else was going on? There were shitty roads, and I was just chalking it up to all these things.
Yeah, just drive through it, man.
Just-
At-
yeah.
go away
Exactly.
At 180, I think it started
Yeah,
going away.
exactly. So I was like, no big deal. So then we get to the track, and he's like telling me what it was doing, the owner, and man, he was a trooper about it. In the video, you could see like he'll lift, and then he just got right back into it, thinking he could drive through it, and like it was way worse than it ever did to me because he stayed in the throttle, and so I knew when he told me what it was doing, I was like, okay, I think I know I think the same thing was happening to me. I just kind of chalked it up to, I'm an idiot. I ran it with a screw in the tire. I ran it with no alignment. I ran it on shitty roads. And because I wasn't thinking about it, I was just like, fuck it, I'm already in it. Let's just see what this thing will do. So then when it came down to it, you know, we got the issue fixed, and it was, I mean, the car, like you have one video when it was doing what it was doing, then you have the next video, and he's one hand on the wheel, and the car's just staying perfectly dead straight, flat. Everything's great. So
What gears are in the back of that?
300s, 3.0, yeah.
300s, and is a T56 in that?
T56, yeah. So it runs about 70 mile an hour in first gear. So trying to do the autocross at Good Guys was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah. And you can't, it's like you dump the clutch in it, spins the tires, and as soon as it grabs traction, so you got to like ride the shit out of the clutch and look like you're an idiot while you're trying to drive it.
So with
Put a quick change in it.
Yeah,
3.0
exactly.
gears and whatever that final drive is, on paper, it'll obviously do
240-ish. Yeah. So I think when we crossed the finish line at 197 mile an hour, he was in fifth gear at like 6,200 RPM. So still a little bit to go yet. I think that engine's redlining. We're redlining it, or we're shifting it at 6,500. So still a little bit to go. Probably hit 200 in fifth gear.
shit.
So we'll see. I mean, we played around. That was one of the things we toyed around with, maybe changing the rear gear and going up to like a 310 or a 330, just to get it off the line better. But it does so good at that mile coming off the line that we don't hardly spin the tires at all, and then all the boost comes in as soon as he shifts into second gear. So it works well with that gear the way it is. Otherwise, I think we're going to blow the tires loose and be trying to shift into sixth gear.
When you guys head back out there, if Scott's down with it, I'd love to take the GN out there.
Dude, it's so much fun. It's I remember like the first time we did the road tours and how much fun they were, like a big change of pace from, a car show or whatever. And this was the same exact way. It's like, it was something I'd never done before, something totally different, nerve-wracking as shit, but a blast at the same time. You learn so much about the car, and everybody's there just having a good time. So it's not like a stressful environment like we were at a drag race where it's like, hey, get up here as fast as you can.
Sure.
I mean, you could daisy chain it, run again, or you can come back and sit for 2 hours and then go run, just go get in line. So it's kind of like real laid back, and you can learn a lot about a car, what it's going to do at high speeds, and it's just a blast. It really is.
It sounds like a good time. Jesse was talking about it, how much fun they had, and stuff doing it.
Well, it obviously takes a tremendous amount of experience. I mean, you kind of like discredit yourself a little bit that you don't have experience doing it, but it takes obviously years and years of building cars to build something that unknowingly is capable of it. So where did it all start for you? How did you start accumulating the knowledge? Where'd you get started? I mean, I remember seeing you on the scene, the hot rod scene, years and years ago. I think you kind of hit it about the same time we did in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
Where
I was
did
probably a
the
little bit
young-
behind you guys for sure.
The young Troy come from?
Yeah. Like, you want to start way back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Take it from the
So,
top, man.
all right. So growing up, I was always into cars. My dad and grandpa both always had something, whether it was a pickup truck or some sort of classic car. As early years, I remember my dad having a square body truck. I mean, I'm talking I'm 4 or 5 years old, and he had a 80s square body lowered. What I thought at the time was the coolest thing ever.
Everybody's
It was.
dad had a square body truck.
Yeah.
So
That obviously that was built into my head from a young age, and then moving forward, I was into anything really. I mean, bicycles. I got into BMX bikes, raced them a little bit, wasn't really any good at it, but I love taking the bike apart and like rebuilding it and putting a different crank setup in it and changing the wheels and all the different parts. So like
Took your
that,
reflectors off, right?
absolutely.
lean the bars forward a little bit.
Absolutely. So I did that thing, and then I got into RC cars a little bit, and wasn't very good at driving them, but I love building them. Buddies would buy on, and I'm like, I'll put it all together for you, because that shit, you didn't buy it, and it was already together and ready to go. You had to build the whole car, and that's what I liked. So I was always hands-on mechanical type thing. And then I think I was maybe 14 or 15, and it was starting to think about driver's license and like what am I going to be into, and I wanted a Nova or a Camaro or something like that, but it was just financially unobtainable for me.
Understandable with the Nova. I mean, Nova's a very high-end
Yeah, I mean,
car.
it's 6 figures for a shitty one. So
Count the 2 decimal.
there's a
Before the decimal
We've
point.
got a little inside joke here. Me and Josh are big Nova fans.
Phil, not so much.
Yeah.
Miata or
She
die over
shits
there.
all over them.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of. Yeah.
So anyway, keep going.
I don't know, 14, 15 years old, whatever I am. I got an older brother. When he turned 16, he got an S10 pickup truck, and it was, he's 6 years older than me, so I don't know how old I would have been when he was 10, when he was 16, and it was, so that would probably been, in 96, 95, 96, he gets a square body S10, and like I said, my dad always had trucks or classic cars, but definitely trucks, and so my dad bought him a S10, and it was lowered, had a target top, had the old splatter
target
paint
top.
inside, tonneau cover, some old.
I thought that was California only.
I
for
don't
Yeah.
remember
cars.
seeing that option on the
Yeah.
Chevy's
So
website.
and it was at the time, like, I'm 10 years old, and I'm like, damn, this thing's badass,
Yeah.
So fast forward, I'm 14, 15 years old, like a Nova or some sort of muscle car sounds pretty cool,
Dude,
but
how badass is the thing I'm gonna get? Because I know my brother got a badass
Yeah.
S10 with a Targa.
so, I always worked. My brother always worked. We always had to work for whatever we wanted. My dad owned a construction company, and I would go to work with him every day during the summer when I'm not in school. And so if I was buying parts for my BMX bike or whatever it was, I had to work for it, and I got a check every week. So the same thing went forward with when it was time to get my license. Well, the difference was he was willing to match whatever I was willing to put in it. So if I had $1,000, he was going to give $1,000. So we find this 94 Chevy S10 at a bank repo. It's primered, lowered, primered, and kind of runs. So I'm like, man, my brother Jamie had an S10. I want that S10. So buy this S10, and for the next year, him, my dad, myself, and my grandpa start fixing it. We put a roll pan on the back, a tonneau cover, lowered it, bought some 18-inch weld billet wheels for it, and then he had a buddy, local backyard body shop, paint job on it. And when I turned 16, that was my first car. So that kind of got me into hands-on with the cars, was working on that truck. And so then the next thing comes, I'm working a job after school as I'm 16, and I want to put airbags on this thing. So I'm like, I got to have airbags and 20-inch wheels. And so the mini trucker days began there. And so I didn't have the money to do it, but I was working. My mom worked at the bank, and she was like, look, if you want this that bad, you can get a loan, and then you can pay for it. Yep. So truck's paid for. It's fine as is, but I'm like, I want this and I want that. So I go to the bank and I get me a loan. I think it was, I don't know, $3,500 or something like that. So I remember every week I worked at the grocery store during school, and then in the summer I worked for my dad. And at the grocery store every week I'd have to cash my check, and 3/4 of it went to my loan payment. But I got my airbags on my S10, and got my 20-inch wheels, and I was hot shit in my eyes. So did that for a while, tinkered with that truck, cut it up several times. First it was the airbags, and it wasn't low enough.
Body
so
drop.
I started cutting it up, and built some bumpers for it, and started tweaking it. And then I'm 18 at this point, and it's laying frame. I got a new set of billet wheels on it, 20-inch billet wheels on it, and it's to the point where I should have left it. And then the next thing you know, I'm like, I got to do more. I got bit, and I got to body drop it and redo this, and I got to put a small block Chevy in it, and a 59 Impala dash.
Ooh.
Oh, that's what those always needed.
Yeah, always,
I
right?
can't believe that GM didn't see that.
I know.
When they designed it.
So, and then I got all these other brilliant ideas. I'm going to put this 67 Camaro bumper in the front, and I'm going to graft it into this full-size Chevy bumper that I've already cut up and put it on it.
You built anything for Ed?
It sounds like an Ed.
I don't know, but after this podcast, he might be calling me.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Carry on.
So anyways, I'm working on this, and at that time, the mini truck scene was kind of big. This is like early 2000s, and mini trucks are probably pretty popular at that time. At least they are where I'm at. And so I've got like these other local guys my age, maybe some a little bit older, some a little bit younger, and they're like, hey, can you do this to my truck? So I start doing that. And I graduate high school, and I started going to college for a semester, kind of.
What were you going for?
Just like general ed,
You're
just
getting education.
You're gonna do
just like a
college.
community college.
Drinking.
I'm gonna do
You're gonna
college.
do college,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm everybody else is doing it. I'm gonna do it.
I tried to do college as well.
So I think I did. At that time, I'm out of high school, so I'm working full time for my dad because I'm like addicted to spending money on this truck, and I need the money, but I'm gonna do school too at night. So I think I had two courses, and I think I might have went to one of the classes twice, and the other one, it was like a 3-hour course. I'm like, no, twice a week, nope, not doing that. And then the other one was like an hour once a week. I think I finished out the semester on that one, and then I was like, this college thing's not for me. And that ended that. So at the time, I'm working. I've got a couple buddies that are also into the mini trucks, and we rent this shop from one of my buddy's uncles. And so I think there's 3 of us, maybe 4 in this shop at the time. It's like 2,500 square foot. We've all got our own little space to work on our shit.
What's the thought process there?
Just to work on
space to work on your things. That's it.
Pretty much.
Garage space.
Yeah, pretty much. It was
C-channel a buddy's truck.
Exactly.
Here or there,
like we're like,
that,
hey,
yeah.
we can bag this guy's truck, and
C-notch.
we can all make $200 and work on it for 2 months. It'll be a great idea. And so that went on for about, I don't know, a year, maybe less. And then it was like, I'm working for my dad during the day. I'm there at night and weekends. And then the next thing you know, I'm getting people that want to like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? And me and one of my other buddies were like, yeah, we'll do it together. And then the next thing you know, he's like, everybody kind of just drops off. So over the next course of the year, they kind of all just drop off.
You get real jobs.
Yeah, they get smart.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So I'm doing this thing on the side, and then we ended up getting out of his shop, moving to the other side of town, a nicer area, and got a bigger shop with just me and I think it was me and two of the other guys, and then one of the other guys, he was from like 30 minutes away. He ended up bailing out, so there was just two of us, and then at some point or another, everybody kind of bailed out, and I'm to the point where like I have this S10 that's all tore apart, and I'm not ever working on it because I'm working on somebody's Ranger or Blazer or whatever, some other.
You're like Frenching license plates, shaving door handles.
Yeah, I mean, I was, there was a couple, like I built a chassis for a little Model A rat rod and a chassis for a Mazda pickup truck. I built a few chassis and doing a little bit of at that time I really wasn't doing a lot of sheet metal work. I was trying, but I had no clue what I was doing, MIG welding shit, and it was warping, and I'm like using electric grinders and shit, and somehow shit was coming out half-ass okay. But I'm not working on any of my shit. I'm working on everybody else's shit, and so I'm still working my full-time job for my dad. So fast forward, this started in 2004. Fast forward to let's say fall or winter of 2007, January-ish. I'm working for my dad, and I've got all this other shit. I'm working every night till 10, 11 o'clock at night. I'm getting off work and going to my shop, working all weekend. And construction business in Illinois, as you guys know, slows down pretty drastically as far as outdoor construction in the wintertime. And so I was like begging my dad to lay me off. Hey, lay me off. So that way I can collect unemployment. And
so I had a lot of respect for you until I heard like the loan, the unemployment, like the start of this compared to where you're at now. It's like,
yeah. So he's like, he's finally like, because it is a family business. Him and my grandpa started it. It was like, I was in line to take over, and I just wasn't into it. It's, if you've ever worked outside in the middle of the winter or the middle of the summer, it sucks.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like I got AC in my shop now, and I go to other people's shops with no AC, and I'm like, I'm out, man. I'm never going to stand around. I turned into a pussy, but anyway,
everybody in the Midwest ends up building so much stuff is because you're stuck inside in the summer and you're stuck inside in the winter. There's nothing else to do, so you just build shit.
Exactly.
You ever tried just like changing a battery in the cold? Touch your knuckle on something when it's like negative 10 degrees outside. It's the most painful thing.
And it never fails. Like as soon as it's like 3 degrees outside, guaranteed, click, 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 click on that starter. It's going to go out every year. But yeah, so I was like, to the point I was like, Dad, lay me off. Like, and it was more so like I wanted to collect unemployment and get that steady paycheck, but at the same time, it was like an excuse to like be able to do this full time. So I did. And he finally agreed to lay me off. It would have never happened otherwise unless I was begging for it, because he tried not to do that with most of his employees anyways.
You do realize we have a sponsorship from the Illinois Labor Department on this podcast, right? And they might. I don't know if the
statute of limitations.
I don't
You're
think
good.
you can retroactively.
You don't think so?
No.
All right, sure.
So no, I'm not gonna get in trouble.
Hey man, the state of Illinois is so crooked. I don't care what I take from them. So anyways, back up to that. So then I'm able to actually like start making a little bit of money. I think I was charging like $25 an hour or something back then. Something so stupid cheap, but I didn't care because I was making enough to do what I wanted to do and live. And at some point in time in high school, for like 2 months, one winter, I worked for this little small local hot rod shop that was a complete joke, and it was everything pretty much not to do, is what I learned there about building any kind of car.
Which shop was that?
It doesn't even exist now.
I'll pull Josh on that one.
You tried to get it out.
Yeah. So fast forward back, I'm out on my own, and there was a customer that they had that was a very good customer of theirs, pretty wealthy guy, had kind of been ran through the ringer with them and taken advantage of, and they were building him this Model A car. And so somehow or another, I think one of my dad's buddies knew him or knew of him, and got in touch with him and was like, hey, I knew you were looking for somebody to work on your car. You should get a hold of my buddy's son, Troy. And so that introduction was made, and this guy comes and he's like, hey, well, I got this chassis. It's got, I need exhaust and I need this and this and this. And then I'll take it to the guy who's doing the body and he can put that on because he's a body guy and he doesn't want to mess with any of that. So I'm like, all right, cool. So it's a Model A on a 32 Ford chassis.
Oh, dude, I remember this car.
Yeah.
With a 33 grill.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So chassis comes to me and it's like, this thing's fucked, man. This thing is shit. So I cut all the cross members out, kept it down to the bare rails. It had I think it was a Gudgel front end, Gudgel rear end underneath it. Redid all the cross members, remounted the engine, and then put exhaust on it and everything. And at that point, he was like, "Oh wow, I didn't know you could do that." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was having some bad luck. Like the car went from the shop that I was previously talking about to like another local body guy, and the body guy was working on it and scabbing stuff together. And so finally he was like, would you be interested in do the body too? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Bring it over. And so I get the body, and I'm like, I'm like looking at it. I'm like, I don't know what, dude. This thing's fucked. It's it's shit. It's everything's wrong with it that could possibly be wrong with it. And like, at this point in time, I think I'm like 20 years old or something, maybe 21. Like, I don't even know how to tell this guy that, like, what am I supposed to do with this? And so finally one day I was just like, fuck it, I just got to try to talk him into getting a new body. So I'm like, we need to get a new body. And that was the other thing with that chassis, is it had been stretched like 7 or 8 inches. So it wasn't even like you could put a 32 body on it and make it look halfway decent. So I was like, we need to get a new body. He's like, well, where do we get a new body at? And so I was like, well, we can get one from Brookville. So we bought a Model A Brookville body and then stretched it.
Is that like a 28-29 or?
It was a 30-31. And then we stretched it, and because we had to stretch it to make it, because that's what they had done to it originally, was stretch it, because that's what he wanted. So we stretched it, and I'm like, at the time I bought like 2 extra door skins, because I'm like, I'm gonna cut it in half and weld it together and shit. And I did that and stretched it all out and kind of put it all together to the best of my ability at the time. And it wasn't anything that like putting it together, I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it's like dated style wise. But he had this 33 Ford grill that he wanted to run into it. And it was a mashup of all kinds of shit that really didn't.
Sounds pretty cool.
It really didn't work. But I was dying for that customer that was willing to give me a shot and actually fund me being in business. So I got lucky there. We ended up finishing the car for the guy. It turned out to be exactly what he wanted, which was good at the time, and that spiraled into him deciding.
You brought that car out to Indy, didn't you?
Yeah.
See, that's where I remember the first time.
Yeah, 2009, I think.
Because I think I remember there was a little guy and a big guy.
Yeah.
In a little car.
Yep.
And you guys were cruising. It must have been Pete.
Actually, it was another guy that worked for me before Pete. There was another big dude.
Yeah, I always remember that, just cruising around this like. It's almost like you were sitting like on top of the car.
He was just happy someone was smaller than him at the time.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So that car, we brought it to Indy, and I think I took it to Columbus, and like I had been to several. I had always went. Me and my dad, my grandpa always went to Indy Good Guys every year since I was like 10 years old. So I'd been to some Good Guys shows, but never like on that level where I'm taking a car, and it was like eye opening for real. Huge. Like coming up, seeing you guys, what you guys were doing. Troy Trepagna is right up the road, and I always was really inspired by him. And it's like, holy shit!
Who's that?
Yeah, yeah, that guy, that guy.
The other Troy. It's got to be tough, man, being a Troy.
It is in Illinois, being a Troy in Illinois. You get that phone call, and they're like, "Hey, you did so and so." I'm like,
sure did.
Yeah, that's me.
What would you like?
Yeah, sure, that was me.
I've been pretty fortunate though. Lawrence answers the phone over there, and anything they don't want to do, they always just say, "Hey, call this guy."
That's great.
It's never really panned out, but at least I get the phone calls. But anyways, so we did that car, showed it around that year, and as soon as we got it done, the owner of that car is named Sid Tracy, and Sid was like, "Hey, I want to do a muscle car," and I was like, "That's my speed. That's what I want to do." And he was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And he's like, "I really want to do a '69 Pontiac Firebird." And I'm like, "I can get into that." And he's like, "Okay, well, I don't have a car. Can we find one?" So I'm like, "Yeah, I'll find you a car." And I was like, "But this time when we do the car, I want to like do it the way I want to do it." Like,
how'd that conversation go? Because as a young builder, I feel like that's
Go.
very difficult. Like even at this stage in the game, it's still tough to be like, this is what I want to do.
Yep.
And back then it was just like, you're just taking notes. Okay, you want it. What color? Okay, that motor, these
Yep.
wheels.
And these AC vents.
Yes.
So-
Sir, you want stallions airbrushed on the hood sides and fake fire? Okay, we can do that, which we did. And
That's exactly how the first car went.
Okay.
So the Model A, or we called it a Roadster, the 31 Roadster. That's how that car went. It was like, okay, this is what you need. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. And, just trying to get a start. And he had been burnt so many times that it was like, I got to do whatever this guy wants and please him. Otherwise, we're gonna have, he's not going to continue as a customer. So we did and finished that car, and it was exactly what he wanted. And he had several other cars built, and I think that was the only one that he drove consistently that never broke down. So
But
I think
you got to build that rapport. I mean, when he's
Yeah.
coming to you, you can't be like, yeah, dude, trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
You have no body of work. You
Exactly.
have no resume. You have
Yep.
nothing to show that you have any type of style whatsoever. So he's gonna be like, yeah, dude, kid, just I got my
personality,
bit.
man.
Put the 33 in it. Put the 33 grill in it. Do it the way I want you to do it.
Exactly. So we did, and he was happy. So then the muscle car came around. I was like, well, what do you want to do? And he was like, well, 69 Firebird. I was like, yeah, I'd love to do it, but we got to do this, the right way, like the way that I think it should be built. And I was like, why don't you, get some key things together on what you want, and then, we'll kind of work together on it. And he knew about what color he wanted it. He knew he wanted an LS engine, and he wanted all these modern features. I was like, I can work with all that. So at that point, like, I started putting a list together of parts that I wanted to use, and kind of gathering everything and started building stuff. And we had some renderings done, which was, before we didn't have renderings. So then it was like a vision that he could see, and he was all about it, and kind of just let us run with it. And that car was probably the one car, even to this day, that's gotten me the most work and kind of put us as a shop on the map as far as being recognized. I mean, we ended up taking that car to Columbus when we finished it, and that was our first time being a top 5 finalist for Street Machine of the Year.
That's pretty good right out of the gate.
Yeah. So
Number 1 muscle car, Street Machine finalist.
Second car built.
yeah.
Pretty
So
impressive.
yeah. So that I mean, I owe a lot of my success to that one guy for giving me that shot on that Roadster that may not have been the car that I wanted to build or my style or anything, but it got my foot in the door to build that next one that was. And I mean, it was never supposed to be what it was. It was like one of those things when I was building that car, it was like, yeah, he wants this, modern. I mean, he would have been fine with just your cookie cutter bolt-on shit with no modifications and painted and cleaned up with air conditioning and all that. And I was like, no, I'll give away however many hours I have to give away to build this the way.
That's the
Donate.
trend.
Yeah,
Donate.
yeah,
Here, it's
That's-
right here on Oil and Whiskey.
yeah. So
It's the two things. You got to build that relationship with the customers. They trust you, and then you have to eat a whole bunch of
Oh,
flavor
yeah. I mean,
or contribute to the build to
I would say
get your next
that
level up there.
at least 50% of the hours in that car were funded by me alone.
We've all done it.
Yeah, and
Every
I
single one of us
I'll
has
tell you
done it.
what,
We know it.
if I could go back and do it again, I'd do it the exact same way. I mean, I wouldn't change a bit out of it. I mean, the dollar figure, I looked back, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, just to look at what he had in that car, and I don't even know that I could build a car today and pay for the parts for what he had total in that car.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, it was to the point when we got that car done, he was so happy, everything was great. We got Hot Rod magazine photo shoot on that, cover of another magazine, Builder's Choice Awards, the Street Machine thing. We got that was the year George was the first year of the Good Guys Road Tour, and George was like, all the top 5. You remember that
Yep.
finalists are going on the road tour, and I'm funding the deal. And
Let's
it
see
was
if they
like,
can drive. Let's see if
Yep.
they can do it. Yeah.
And so, we got to do that with that car, and that was one of those deals where at the time, the owner that owned that car, his shop was just right around the corner from me, and we were able to take that car. I was able to go get that car. It didn't matter if it was Sunday night or Wednesday morning or whatever, and he would let me take that car and drive it.
What year
And,
was that?
that was 2013. So, and then that fall we did that road tour, and he was all about that because he's like, yeah, put the miles on it, make sure everything's good, and we did, and that was huge. So I owe a lot to
It
him.
had a mast motor in it, didn't it?
Yeah, don't you remember those issues?
Yeah, you
coming
guys
back.
had that.
It's coming back to me now.
So yeah, so doing that tour. I mean, I think we, rolled up to that tour with like, I don't know, 200 miles on
Yeah.
that car. And,
Yeah.
and we're like, well, I guess we're going to go 2,000 and see what happens. And, man, that was a blast. I
can't believe it's been that long ago.
And I learned, I think we all learned though on that first tour that you don't bring nice cars on tours like that. Like
You can bring them, just don't expect them to be nice.
well, when they're done.
They're that nice.
Yeah. We ended up going to SEMA with that car that year too. And I think we got back and we repainted the whole front end of that car after that. But
It's probably from driving behind Josh.
No,
he was always behind me. What are you talking about?
He's been in front of a couple other ones that had to have the whole front end repainted.
When we were up
Jesse learned the hard way.
when we were up at 10 or 11,000 feet above sea level, neither one of us were ahead of anybody. We were behind everybody with those. That was a learning experience with those. Both of us had the same exact motor, and the same ECUs at that point. That was it was when Mast was just kind of starting out.
Yeah, but the weird thing about it, what I thought was weird was that they did it at different times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think ours did it first, and then I don't know if it was that later that day or the next day, you guys were like stuck dead in the water. And then all of a sudden they just miraculously fired up.
Mass air, they weren't speed
no,
density.
so
they were speed density.
Yeah, that was Mast's first ECU deal
Gotcha.
at that point. And I mean, we stopped at that one place, and you couldn't shut it off. You could keep it running. Once you got it running, you could keep it running. Just didn't run great. But if you shut it off, I mean, try to get cranked again was almost impossible. And we stopped at that one Chevrolet dealership, and it was like I was throwing money at it. I mean, every sensor, it was screw it. Let's just change throttle body. I mean, at the GM dealer, it was just all right. Give me a throttle body. Give me a map sensor. We were doing give me all the plugs. Give me all the. Just start throwing it, and didn't
throw parts in.
Didn't make a difference. As soon as you start coming back down in sea level,
I think we
cleared back up again.
I think what helped them too is we switched octane. We started running 87 octane,
run low as you could possibly low, and that's
it makes no sense. But
it was interesting. You're talking about the renderings with the customers and visual stuff. I remember back, we all did this with our with our first customers, and we donated labor, and we did this. We wanted to build the best interpretation that we could possibly do with that first customer. But the visual thing where I was going with this is going to those car shows. So like that first build you do with them, you're going to those car shows together and you're walking around. It's so interesting. That's how you find out so much about that customer when you're walking around stuff and you see what they gravitate towards, and you're kind of like, no, but look at this. This is badass. And then, or you start gravitating towards the same thing. But then I just remember back those times of when the juices are flowing and you get so many ideas, and it's great the car that you've built and all that, but you're talking about that next build. You're like, oh, what about something like this? Oh, we could do this, we could do that. And that relationship with that customer is built, at that car show with the excitement level and then the visual of other stuff. And you're like, well, we could tweak this, we could tweak that. It was just, the customers are so visual. The renderings, when you start being able to, the customer can afford, to hire a guy, or, I mean, we're blessed to have somebody in-house, obviously, but you can go through that excitement's done in an office now, and looking through stuff and pulling stuff off versus way back in the day, it was at the show, getting jazzed up about stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And that was the big thing with him too. It was also, like Jeremy had touched on, being a young guy. I mean, at that point in time when we built that, I think when we started on that Firebird, I was 23 years old, and him having the trust in me, and then we finished it, and I don't know what I was, 25 maybe. Yeah, that sounds about right. 25 when we finished it, and even then, even after we finished that car, it was still tough to get other customers that were willing to give some 25-year-old a $200,000 budget to build whatever car they want, and it was hard going forward. I remember like when we finished that car, George Poteet walks up to me. He's like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, "I think I'm 25." And he's like, "And you built that car?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, yeah, not just me, but yeah." And that was like eye-opening to me. Like, you got to earn these guys' trust. I mean, they're not like, they're not just going to give it to you.
They didn't get to where they are by being stupid.
Right.
They're not going to pull the wool over their eyes.
If you look at almost every builder that's had success, it's all started with a great customer that did just that. Trusted him. That's kind of our story. I was 21, you're 23 probably.
Yeah.
And Barry Bloomquist, same thing. I mean, we had virtually nothing to show. We had one car that was just completed. How the hell he like pulled the trigger to let us build something like that? It's unbelievable. Then when you follow that up, another one, you look at the 33 we did for Jim Eckford.
Yeah.
I mean, that was shortly thereafter, and that's a wildly elaborate car. How he came to our shop in Elgin looking the way it looked and was impressed and, entrusted us to do something to that level. I mean, that was a pretty big dollar car to it. I mean, granted, like you said, I mean, sure, it was big dollar, and we were 50-50 partners in it, whether he knows it or not. But
Could have been way bigger dollar.
But everybody's not the same way. I mean, almost every single one of these builders, that's the way it is, because I think the guys who you don't hear about and the guys who we're not sitting here talking to, they burn that customer.
Yeah.
And they're nowhere to be found now, because they thought they had a big fish on the line or something and took the guy for everything he's worth and fucked him, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Done, gone,
Or never finish the car.
Yeah, likely never finished it. But I think it's a two-way street. You got to have a customer that trusts you, and you got to deliver.
Yeah.
You got to be a man of your word, and you got to do exactly. You got to donate the shit out of the labor.
Oh, and sacrifice. I mean, there's many of weekends. I mean, untold amount of weekends that you're working. You should be doing something else, and you're working, and you're not charging for it either.
Yeah.
You're there working for free and not doing some things that you should be doing at home or whatever it is.
Yeah, I remember in the earlier years, that car and even several cars after that, getting the cars to the assembly stage and be like, okay, we got to get this thing assembled as soon as possible, because I can't afford to lose this many dollars over the next 6 months. So I need to lose them all in the next 2 months so that we can get back to making money.
Let's lose them fucking fast.
Yeah, let's get some 20-hour days in here and just knock this thing out as fast as possible, and we're only going to charge for 2. And then get it done in 2 months so that way we can get back to the regular planned schedule here. So, we did that over and over again, and finally got to the point where I feel like we can charge for it now, because we were able to.
You've earned it.
We've earned it. Yeah.
How much of that business sense was kind of on your mind then versus now?
Then I didn't have any business sense in it. Then it was like, hey, I'm being able to pay my bills and do exactly what I would be doing if I had that guy's money. I would be building this car. I'm able to do it the way I want to do it. And so as long as I'm staying afloat, I'm good, at that time, because that was what I wanted. I cared more about, especially that Firebird for Sid, because I felt like at that time it was like, this is the opportunity I've been waiting for. This is the opportunity that I want. This is the opportunity that I need. I don't care how many hours I give away. I want to build it. I want to build it the way I can do the best job that I can possibly do, with how I want to do it. And
you can't make any excuses. You can't put a sign on it and be like,
he only had 50 grand.
I promise you I could do better.
Yeah.
You pay me more and I could do better.
Right. No.
I swear.
Yeah. Nobody.
It was like when we finished that car, I was
card.
like, I'm happy with this. This is absolute best we can do right now. This is it. This is like,
yep.
There's no excuses. This is what it is. And that's it. If there's something wrong with that car, it's my fault, because he kind of gave me free reign, and I was happy with it. I was happy with the end product. I'm happy with the way everything went down, and it opened up so many doors for me that I wouldn't have. So going back, I'd change nothing.
What this is a little bit of a tricky one to explain, or even a tricky subject to go over. What has changed now in your mentality or drive of what you were striving for show-wise? I mean, we've all been there in the early days and looked at, this show and this award and this show and this award.
When the only focus is winning.
Yeah.
Street Machine of the Year, or
right.
winning a GM Design Award.
And again, I said this is tricky because it's difficult to explain or say. It seems like it's easy after there's been some of those wins, right? But you also see after those wins have happened that doesn't put any money in your pocket. It doesn't pay your guys, and it doesn't really move the needle. The quality and the drive has to be the drive for the quality's sake, regardless of whatever beauty pageant or whatever anything else. Because winning that award doesn't automatically mean, guess what? 35 customers are lining up to just give you a blank check to build you whatever. The drive has to be for
He just
making
won
that
it
nest
2 weeks
custom.
ago. Let him
No, no,
ride
I'm
the high
asking
a little bit.
He's
still.
basically telling you, he's like, dude, you won Street Machine of the Year. It doesn't mean shit.
He's won.
Nobody's gonna ask you to build anything because of it.
He's won a shit ton of awards prior to that. And I think you understand what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I do.
The drive.
I don't care about the awards. Like when we built that original Firebird, that first Firebird that we built in 2013, like I didn't build that car thinking that I was going to go to I wanted, like, Columbus was it. Like at that time, like if you were building something badass, muscle car, street machine, whatever, you were debuting it at Columbus. It wasn't getting debuted at SEMA. It was Columbus was it. Like all the big hitters are coming to Columbus.
Back in the lateral G
and like,
days.
exactly. Like I just want to park in the same parking lot as the contenders. Like I'm not building this car thinking that we're going to make the top 5. There's no way in hell. Like 2013, I mean, you guys had won it already with Barry's car, and I knew that this thing's nowhere near what Barry's car is, and looking at what the rings are doing, and I just wanted to be in the same parking lot, you know, and feel okay about it. Like making the top 5 was like, there's no way we're going to make the top 5. But if we can be in the same parking lot, that's great. And so when we actually made the top 5, I was like, holy shit. Like we weren't building it for that. It was building it because like, I want to see what I can do. Like I want to see what I can do. And now moving forward, like we've had customers that want to build a car for Street Machine of the Year or whatever. And it's like,
how does that conversation? How do you explain?
So
expectations?
we've been a finalist for so many different Good Guys Awards. I think 4 or 5 times for Street Machine.
I feel pretty confident about getting you a 5.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was like, I think we can probably do a 5. No guarantees, but that win is. I'm not like I had a customer a couple
You're like
years
a top
ago.
5 guy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Josh is a top 6 guy.
There you go.
It's
I had
been brought up too many times.
I had a customer that this has probably been when we started on the car. I don't remember. We finished the car in 2019, but really good customer. And he said, you know, I'd really like to win Street Machine of the Year with this car. And I said, look, I mean, if that's why you're building the car, that's probably not a good reason to be building this car. Like, I get that's a goal, and I we can have that like in our mind as we build this car, but like you don't need to be doing stupid shit to the car just because you think that's what's going to win Street Machine of the Year.
You need build you a way cooler trophy for way cheaper.
It's like
it's like a $300 trophy.
I've been there and I've got the finalist spot. At this time I'd never won it, but I'm like, once it's over, it doesn't matter if you won or you got a top 5 or you didn't get shit. That's still your car. And next year, nobody's going to give a shit whether you won or whether top 5. So you need to be happy spending what you're spending and walking away with nothing. Because if you're not, then you're wasting your money on this car. So I told him this, and he was finally like, okay, well, this is what I want to do. And I'm like, okay, now we're better. And we built a car, and it was another top 5 finalist for the car. Didn't win, but he was happy with the car when it was all said and done.
It's a good, honest conversation. It's a conversation that needs to be had. I mean, there's so many shops out there that you're like, the guy comes in, I want to win the Riddler, or I want to win Street Machine of the Year.
We had that exact conversation. As you're talking about that, I'm thinking of it. And there's remember the 59 Invicta?
Yes.
So right here where we're sitting right now, you know, we sat with a customer. We built him a chassis for a 59 Invicta, and we sat and talked to him. He's a local guy. And he was dead set on he wanted to build a Riddler contender. And, I mean, I think we were very, like, open about the fact that, well, let's bedline the floor, let's do this, and I think you'll really enjoy a driver car, and we build you to do this, and you really just put some miles on it, you'll love it. But he wanted a Riddler car, and ultimately, you know, the car ended up at Cal Auto.
Yeah.
And like, I've seen some little teasers. This fucking car is gonna win the Riddler. I mean, we were honest with him. It wasn't the right. It wasn't right for him. We're not gonna deliver that. Andy at Cal, 100% will. I mean, the shit he's doing with it's fucking over the top. But you got to have that conversation. You got to know, and you got to know, like, if that's the right fit,
right,
for you. You know?
Yeah.
Because if that's not the car you build, then that's not something you should be taking on or doing.
It's amazing how just like golden rule stuff, like honesty, integrity, hard work, at the very core of it. It doesn't seem like it's that difficult. You know, it's the customer comes along and you want to be honest about what you can or want to build, and it differs from what that is, then have the honest conversation and let the guy go where he goes, you know? And
I've seen it both ways. You know, I've seen being honest and the car goes off to the right person and gets done the right way for what that customer's goals are. But I've also
I've seen a lot the other way.
I've
yeah.
also like literally had the conversation. I mean, we just had it at Columbus. You told me, I guess I'm just gonna eat my words here.
Yeah, but you were still honest.
Like
the
yeah.
other shop wasn't
Yeah,
honest.
he's
It's
like,
not your fault.
He's like, I hate the car. I can't fucking drive it. It's terrible. I should have just listened to you. Everything you said was exactly right. And, I mean, I wasn't bullshitting you. I was just like telling you that if you want a car that you're going to get in, drive, and use, like this is what you need to do.
But at the end of the day,
it's important.
Winning Street Machine of the Year is pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. But you've brought this up, and I think you guys have too.
That he got a Mother Shine Award. He's brought that up several times.
He doesn't have any street machines. That's for sure.
So
No, I've got a Street Machine.
Do you?
I mean, with being part of a previous shop, but yeah.
No.
Well, that's
Just
that's also what I'm going to bring up. So, you brought it up. You guys, I think you brought it up. We've all won the same award, the Good Guys Trendsetter Award, and it's awesome to win. Just like winning Street Machine's awesome to win. But the next day, there ain't a damn thing that changes.
Oh,
like
I
we got
tried.
back from Columbus
Dude,
this
I
year.
tried to big chest it.
Yeah, how'd it work out for you?
It doesn't mean shit at
No.
all.
His wife knocked him down a couple hundred levels.
You would be the guy to try it. Like,
Oh, I did
this
try
is
it.
something.
Yeah.
I'm somebody
it's
now.
this fucking centerpiece at the dinner table.
Yeah.
You know? You
No,
don't get
it
any
was-
more mashed potatoes, Josh.
I've told
because-
this story. It was get back from SEMA, and it was I think on a Sunday afternoon or evening. And at that point, my kids were real young. Luckily, my son's old enough; he takes the fucking trash out now. But at that point in time, I was taking the trash out to the street. Hey, I know you just got in. You need to take the trash out and stuff. And it just hit me, and I'm like, fucking trendsetter of the year. Trent, and I mean halfway joking and all that, but giving her shit, I'm like, trendsetters don't take fucking trash out. All right, find somebody to take the trash out. And trendsetter don't mean shit to me. Take the fucking trash out.
Do you know how many times? I mean, the Mother Shine Award is a great award, right? But at the time, Josh wasn't working here, and anything I would fucking ask him, there was like somehow the Mother Shine Award was
First
related
of all,
to it. And he
this
was
is all in jokes. I'm not
Yes.
that big of a dickhead.
But he would always, he'd be like, he's like, they don't just fucking give these out to anybody, right? You realize who you're talking to. Right?
Like anytime he does shit like that, I just stick him in a room with Jesse.
Yeah, I know.
They make you feel real good.
Jesse trumps all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Hold on, excuse me. I'm getting
We're-
guacamole out of this Riddler and my beers in this Riddler.
We were joking
That's
around.
two Riddlers.
Jesse totally missed the fucking mark on bringing the Riddler to drink.
He should have came
Whiskey
right
out of-
in here
yeah.
and just be like, "Oh, pour me some in
Yeah.
this cup."
Pour the whole
But
bottle.
what you're saying on the trendsetter stuff?
It's just like it doesn't change shit. Like it adds another cap or feather in your cap, but that's about it. It's just like coming home from it's a similar story. Coming home from Good Guys, whatever, 2-3 weeks ago, winning Street Machine of the Year, and you walk back into the shop and fuck, all the same work still sitting here, and all the same bills got to get paid, and nothing's changed. It's all the same.
Newspaper's not even here.
Yeah,
to do a
it's all the same
story
shit.
on
Like,
me.
I remember, I think it was last week. I had one of my other local customer, come in, him and his brother, and I'm out in the front of my shop dumping out the mop bucket and cleaning out the mop bucket, and he's like, "What are you doing cleaning out the mop bucket? Why?" And because I'm mopping the floor, and he's like, well, "Don't you have guys that do that?" And I'm like, "No, that's they all want to leave, and then like I'm anal and I got to clean up the shop and make sure everything's in its place on Friday afternoon or whatever, and I'm going to do that because that's what I want to do, and just because you win, and that's what I've tried to tell these customers, like just because you win this award or whatever, I think that you've got to be happy at the end of the day with what the end product is. Like, don't be doing all this shit just because you think it's going to help you win this award, because once that show is come and gone, nobody cares. It's back to normal, and you've got to live with that car. So that car better be something that you want to drive. Like the perfect example is the guy I just had a conversation with him right before I got here, is the guy Brad that owns the Firebird that we just won with, and we're talking about it. And we're building another car for him right now that we're finishing up to do the Barrett Jackson Road Tour with. And I was telling him, like, hey, I want to have it paint protection film from the body line down. And I got a local guy that can do all that. And I was like, I had him price the green car too. And he's like, well, I don't know why you're doing the green car because that thing ain't never going to get driven. And I'm like, it's got 700 miles on it. You ran 197 miles an hour in it. We were going back. Like, why wouldn't you drive it when we get home? Like, it's a fantastic driving car.
Right.
Like, you sit in that car, you feel good. It drives great. Like, the gear sucks for driving it on the street, but that's simple. Let's change that so you can drive it. And so I was like, you're gonna drive it. Like, if you're not gonna drive it, then I'm gonna keep it here and we're gonna drive it. And he's that type of guy where he'd be like, go ahead, whatever. So, but I told him, I was like, you just got to drive it. Who cares at this point?
I guess that's the point. The whole thing is you got to set your sights, goals, and build your foundation on the things that matter. And it's the relationships, it's the quality of your builds. It's giving that somebody that's something that's actually tangible that they can drive and they can have fun with it. And all the other stuff, the ancillary stuff is fun. It's great. It's what pushes you at those 2 o'clock in the morning when you're like, I'm fucking tired and ready to go home. It's the drive for all that kind of stuff. But understanding the realness of it all and the underlying stuff going forward, because I think there's a lot of guys, customers and shops that have a very difficult time understanding that this whole entire industry and society in itself is, what have you done for me lately? So as soon as you go to the very next Good Guys show you go to, it's not a pat on the back for winning, congratulations for winning street. So what are you working on now?
Yeah.
What's the next car that you're bringing out?
That's before you've even won the damn award. Hey, what are you guys working on?
Yeah.
What are you working on now? What's next?
Yeah. Well, we just
They do that as you debut a car. That's pretty. What else you got going on?
Yeah.
And customers as well. It's a very difficult time of after the Street Machine of the Year, it's difficult after you've gone through that process and you spent that much money that it's kind of like, all right, that's cool. So next year for Street Machine of the Year,
Well,
it's a
but
difficult.
dude, we're no
life.
different.
I know.
No offense to the guys that have built these beautiful masterpieces, but I don't think any of you guys want to watch the same car being toured 2 years, 3 years in a row, showing up at every single car show. And you see a lot of these indoor car show cars.
They're like
Do that.
15-year runs.
God, they just keep coming and coming. You're like, dude, I get it. I saw it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Like,
Jesus
Christ.
That's what my point
Start
was.
driving the fucking
It's
thing
difficult.
already.
It's difficult for that closure because it's so kind of anticlimactic. It's been like foreplay for 3 years, and then the act, of whatever the show is, the first thing, that debut, whether it's an award or not, but that debut is
Maybe
you've
we
shot
need
your
to-
load, and after that, it's kind of like.
And I put a time frame on a car. Like, you got a year. That's it. Like, you can't hit the same show twice.
If
Like,
you
if you
debut
go
at
to
SEMA,
SEMA, don't come back to SEMA. Like,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you debut at Columbus this year, don't bring it back to Columbus next year.
Unfortunately, there was a car that ran.
It was
Too many SEMAs? Okay,
Yeah.
I get
Like,
it.
so,
It wasn't my choice.
This year, you gonna be back?
It might come back.
we had somebody ask us this year. We took Brad that owns that Firebird that we just won with. His dad has a little 34 Ford that we made the top 5 with in Street Rod of the Year last year. We actually took it to Nashville prior to that for Hot Rod of the Year and had a little electrical issue and weren't able to finish the road tour. We got the car fixed on the road, but missed one of our checkpoints. But one of the Good Guys staff asked me, Steven, he said, I thought you were going to bring that thing back to Nashville this year for Hot Rod of the Year. I'm like, dude, we did that last year and the cookie crumbled the way it crumbled. And I'm not
one-shot deal.
Yeah, I'm not bringing it back next
one
year. Like,
opportunity.
that's it. Like, and so this year when we were thrashing, trying to get the Firebird back up and going, back up and running for Columbus, Clay, who works for me, he made a comment. I was like, man, you're right.
Mustache.
Clay, yeah.
He's got a
He's been with me for the longest out of everybody that's with me. And he was like, we have to get this car done. Like, we can't. There's no not getting it done for Columbus, because if we don't get it done for Columbus, that's it. We're not going next year.
Done.
Like, it
Car's
has
done.
to go this year. Car's done. And that's something we live by. Like, you got a year with the car.
You're right. You're 100%
and if
right.
you don't do it in that year, like, nobody cares next year. Nobody wants to see the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, and that's difficult for customers and shops alike of understanding that, dude, you shot your shot.
There's
you
a
know?
shelf life.
Yeah, shelf life, and it's difficult, especially from a customer standpoint, because I've seen it so many years of like, hey, we're gonna take the so and so car back and on. And it's like, dude, I get it. Like there's a tremendous amount of money on it. And you love that car. Drive the shit out of it and all stuff. But you can't go back for another award or nobody cares. That's very difficult to tell somebody that like, dude, you were the shit. You're not the shit. Like you gotta come back and be the shit.
I look at it like any professional sports. Like you won the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? As soon as the Super Bowl's over, everybody's prepping for the Super Bowl next year. Nobody cares.
The first game, you don't show up with
Nobody
the trophy
cares.
and be like, hey, you remember?
Yeah.
Like last year we won. That's football.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You got to slam dunk it, slam dunk it and bam, you got it win.
2 points.
Yeah, hit the 3-pointer.
Well, transitioning away after this conversation. So what are you working on next?
Yeah, because we don't give you. All right, so
we're done.
Yeah, Street Machine, cool, awesome, dude. What are you working on?
I would say
next?
there is a lot of merit in the trophies. I mean, after shitting on them for 20, 30 minutes here, it's a huge feather in the cap to get to that point. I think it's a lot of recognition for what you've done, and you got to have that in your portfolio of work to, be to the next level. So there's a lot of merit, I think, that goes with it and building cars for it. And it was a huge motivation for us at the beginning.
Well, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on the trophies itself.
To me, it was a gauge. It's a bar, and it's a gauge of where you're at. And and again, not to discredit you because it's still phenomenal. And like, dude, like you rewind a year, 2, 5, 10, like that Firebird still, it's like that's a Street Machine of the Year winner, no matter what. But
Charger.
Rewind like 5 years ago. I mean, dude, the Street Machine of the Year shit, like it was a fucking honor to be in the top 5. I mean, there were 30, 40, like legitimate.
You remember how big that, when it was over on the side, how big that parking lot was?
Legitimate content. I mean, it was wild, but in the early years, you set your sights on winning it. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I targeted it to win, and I felt for me, it was a gauge of just where you're at because you gauge it off previous winners. You look at what won the Street Machine in last year, like if it's the Rings Mustang or the Rings Camaro, you're like, dude, that's the bar. Okay. So if I can win this award, like that's what I'm gauging it off of. And then we're going to be here. Now,
that's the company you're in.
Yeah. As soon as you win the next day, like you said, I'm not sitting there and dwelling. I mean, honestly, like I can't remember the years or I don't care. It was great to win it, but bam, you're on to the next thing. You're trying to
next year.
Yeah. You get back to the shop, you win it on Saturday, Monday, you're at the shop and you're focusing on doing something else.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm discrediting either. Like I'm honored to have won it. I'm honored to have been in the top 5 all the times that we've been in the top 5. My main thing is I don't want the customer to be building that car specifically for that reason. Now, if you want to do all this shit because you want to do it and you like it and it's for you, then great. But let's not do it just because that's what it's going to take to win.
Yep.
And that's my main thing.
A lot of cars go bad just because of that. You got to make a modification to make a modification to, for the indoor car show.
Yeah, yeah. You look at the Detroit cars.
That's
Riddler. That's a different story.
Like
that's the Riddler.
I can't. I mean,
which award?
The Riddler.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Riddler.
The Riddler.
Yeah.
And which is that?
The one that won this year. I mean, come on.
I didn't go this year or last year,
but you went several years ago when that car that won this year was first there.
That car that won this year was first
Remember
there?
the orange and burgundy?
That's the same car?
That's exactly the car.
That's the car?
Yeah, it's the car, just redone.
Ah.
You can redo a car?
So
Take it to the...
Apparently.
Huh. I feel like that's an amendment to the rules.
It was changed the proper percentage.
Is it the car or is it the same builder?
The actual car.
We got to move on because I don't even feel like talking about this.
Yeah. At any rate, I think, I've learned long ago that it's great to win the awards. It's great to have them like in your target, but I've come to grips like with the fact that I need to satisfy myself and I will never be satisfied. So I will always be a bigger critic than anybody judging the car, and I'm also very like honest with myself as far as who the winner is. I'll never kick my feet and stomp and say, oh, this is bullshit, we didn't win. Like, I like getting beat out by a better vehicle because it's like, dude, it's inspirational. How am I
what about getting beat out by not a better vehicle?
That sucks, but that's what's made me come to the realization that like I don't get upset with it anymore because I'm out to satisfy myself. I'm out to satisfy the customer. If I can be truly pleased with a car, that's like you can't make a better trophy. You know, you couldn't win a bigger, and I'm sure you're got to be the same way. Like
Yeah.
if you were honestly like ecstatic, 100% stoked, and there's nothing you would change on that car.
Yeah, because that high
That's-
doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can think of a car for me that was that car exactly the way you're saying, and I don't care. Nothing would change about that car today if we built it again. And we didn't win. We were a finalist again.
You didn't win. That's fucking bullshit.
But I don't care. Like, I mean, I
Which
feel
car?
like
Which car?
the Charger.
Yeah.
Dude, the
Yeah.
Charger's sick.
Yeah, I mean
That
that
was
car.
badass.
That car
Badass.
was something that like, if I could build that same style car over and over again, not that car, but like that same style where it's real timeless. I would love to do that. That
I love that car, man.
Yeah.
And that car's come up in conversation too because it's it's such a timeless car, beautifully executed. Everything was perfect. I would have never picked the green interior.
That's what I'm
dude,
saying.
the
But
green
the green
interior
is-
is the best
But
story.
the green interior is sick. It
Yeah.
looks so good, and that's come up in conversation with customers of ours. We've talked about some like contrast interior colors, and I'm like, oh, well, check this out. Like, yeah, it does work.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like,
timeless, but
look
you've
at-
got to push the envelope,
So-
and the envelope was pushed. There
Dude,
was
I
risks
fucking
taken.
love that car.
That
Yeah.
I got a good story on the color of that car and then the color of the interior. Like, so the owner of that car, that's the second car he had built for him. He built a 63.5 Galaxie. We actually kind of collaborated with another shop on that had started it, and then we ended up taking it to the finish line. But the owner of that car was next door neighbors with Sid Tracy, the guy we did the 69 Firebird for. So
Lawn care company, just like
yeah, exactly. Yep.
I'm right here. We might as well.
So we finished up that Galaxie, happy with the Galaxie. He's like, I want to do a Charger. I'm like, cool. Can we have this one from day one? So I obviously contacted you guys and kind of told you what I wanted to do with it. Built the chassis for it, and it was free reign on whatever the hell we wanted to do, and we did some stuff on there to make some Mopar guys cry, which I don't care.
They cry out.
What
Yeah,
pissed
those-
off the Mopar guys? And that car felt
The Motards, that's what Jack Cipriani used to call them, the Motards.
that car seemed pretty pure.
The doors, man.
Yeah.
The doors pissed everybody off because
Yeah.
we took the scallops out of the doors and
Gotcha.
straightened the body lines out. So, but I'd do it again
It
100 times.
Yeah.
But owner Vic Buraglio, you can't pronounce his last name.
I can't.
Yep, that guy.
Silent G. Now that I know, I can do
Yeah,
it.
awesome guy. Helped me a lot in business and advice and mentoring me. But he had a white 69 Charger that he had bought brand new, got married, went on his honeymoon in it. It was white and it had green interior in it. It didn't have a Hemi in it. That was the only thing he didn't get that he would, if he could go back again and do it. So when we go to build that car, he was like, I want to build a 69 Charger. I was like, okay, cool. Can we kind of like, put our flair on it and do what we want to do? We did what you wanted to do on the last one. Can we kind of do what we want to do? That's what he's like. I don't care what you do. It's got to have a Hemi. It's got to be white and it has to be green interior. And I'm like, all right, like Hemi's cool.
So I can do
white,
anything I wanted to
yeah,
do.
Hemi's cool. White's cool. Green interior, I don't know about that. I'll work on him on that. Like I'm like we'll get that one smoothed over.
Just
Say yes for
Yeah,
now.
that's
to be picked
Yeah.
up
so,
later.
so I'm like, I like everything else. White, I'm a white guy anyways. Everything I own is gonna be white.
we don't have to pick an interior color right
Yeah,
now. I mean, this is
and
That happens like
Get
way
some
down.
renderings
Yeah,
going
exactly.
and
So,
samples. And
we did. We
whatnot.
had renderings done. We had you guys do the chassis. Jesse did us some one-off wheels off of a design that I had really, really liked. I was like, man, I hate how these doors do this. All these Mopar guys love this iconic scoop in the door. I hate it. I'm taking it out. I'm taking the scoops out of the hood. I'm changing the door lines. I'm going to move some body lines around. I'm going to move the wheelbase. Just change a bunch of stuff tastefully. Change all this trim. Make it fit right. We're going to build this engine bay. We're going to kind of make this thing timeless, but add just a little dash of modernization to it. Bigger wheels, tires, do a little spoiler on the front, a little spoiler on the back, some NASCAR-inspired stuff with the rear spoiler. And then do it just like high level of detail, a lot of modifications that are subtle enough to where if you don't know a Dodge Charger, you don't think we did shit. And then comes the interior. And it's time to paint the car, and we're painting the car, and it's white, and it's getting painted, and the interior gets brought up. Well, we need to get leather. I built all the panels inside, and like we had the interior done. Like it's time to order leather. And so I'm like, hey, yeah, I know you wanted green, but here's
Black.
Here's-
it looks close
You,
to
you
it.
were going red, weren't you?
no.
Yeah, red? No.
I was
White
gonna
and red
go
would be
like, you know, the engine bay, or the engine itself was like a dark bronze. The engine bay was almost like a gold. So I wanted to go with like, you know, a or you know, like a tan
Oh,
color.
dude, you're right. That would have looked so much better now that I think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, and he's like, nope, gotta be green. So I'm like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? I don't.
There's
This
no more
isn't.
green
This is never
cows.
gonna. This is never gonna work. And so I gave him. I'm like, well, you need to kind of show me what you're thinking for green. And so, because I'm thinking like,
It's like this.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like original green, and he starts looking at samples, and he picks out like it's literally not damn near identical to this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's still terrible, but I guess it's better than what I expected, but it still looks like shit. And so I'm like, all right. So we get the car back from paint, and the whole car's white, looks beautiful. The engine bay's painted the colors I want. The wheels are painted. We got all the nickel trim on it, and then there's the dash is welded in that car, the upper section at least, and it's this fucking green color. And I'm like, this car's gonna be so badass, and the interior's gonna ruin it. And so we start putting it together, and then we start putting the interior in it. Seats start coming, everything's going to count. I'm like, holy fuck, this guy was right. God damn, he was fucking right.
That was your pop color. Everything else
Yeah,
was so
And
you know,
I
monochromatic.
like until the interior went into that car, I shit you not, I had seats sitting there, I had a dash there, and I was like, this is horrible. And then it goes in, and I'm like, man, that fucking works. And to this day, like that, people will still come to me, well, you're the guy that built the white Charger with the green interior. And it worked. And I'll eat my words on that one because he was right all the way to the bank on that one. So that's that's the car going back that there's not a single thing I would change, including the green interior that I was totally against.
Yeah, dude.
So
I love that car. That's
Yeah.
a car I would like to own it exactly like it is. There's not
Yeah.
a lot of cars out there that somebody's built that I'd say, dude, I want that car.
Yeah.
That car it had everything going for it. Timelessly done, classic. Look, I honestly, like looking back, I didn't even realize that you did away with the little underdeveloped scoops
yeah.
in the side.
No.
Those cars always they always look like the dies were
You've
kind of
come such a long way since the first podcast.
well, the dies were almost like worn out, you know, when they were
Yeah.
stamping it because they're like soft and faded. They just never look right.
Yeah, it's like a
Fuck 'em.
blind guy put the body lines down the side of the car. They're all crisscrossing and shit. What the hell's going on with this stuff?
Yeah,
I think that was kind of the blessing and the curse on that car. It was so subtle and it looked like nothing was done that a lot of people overlooked a bunch of the stuff that was done and took an insane amount of work to do. But you did it to where it looked right. It looked like it fit that car, and it, from anybody who knows those cars, like could see what was done. And anyone I think in the hot rod world who's fucked with those things enough, like it was just right, like proportions, the style, it was just killer and
Yeah.
timeless, subtle. You can go back in 10 years and 20 years, it'll look like it was correctly done.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was the thing he wanted. He was like, I want a car that like, you know, I'm not going to all these car shows. I want a car that like in 10 years I can pull it out and it's going to be relevant. So I think that's what we put together, and that's the car I would not change a thing on.
Hey, everybody, it's Josh from Roadster Shop and the Oil and Whiskey Podcast. And I want to tell you about a cool promotion happening with our friends at Blade HQ. Blade HQ has got knives to fit any hand, any belt, any job, and any budget. A few years back, Blade HQ declared August 24th National Knife Day. Now, from August 22nd through August 26th, they're having a massive sale to celebrate. Shop thousands of knives like folders from Benchmade and Spyderco, multi-tools from Gerber and Leatherman, and a whole lot more. If you're new to knives, you can learn more at bladehq.com or check out the Blade HQ YouTube channel. So remember, from August 22nd through August 26th, go to bladehq.com/oil and whiskey for the best deals for National Knife Day. That's bladehq.com/oil and whiskey. Well, we've talked about where you got started. We've talked about past builds. Where do you think the industry as a whole is going over the next 5 years?
Well, first off, you got to be able to drive the cars. That's truly been proven.
Seems like another standard
Yeah.
comes up every single time.
Yeah, that was my first experience when we did our first 2013. We did that road tour. That was that very first Good Guys cross country Hall of Fame road tour, or whatever they call it. And that's fun. Like that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's so much more fun than collecting one of these awards. The awards are awesome. Like they're equally as important in my eyes as having a car that you can hop in and drive and be drivable. Like there's no doubt in my mind that green car that we did that we just won Street Machine of the Year, I'd get in that thing and drive it anywhere. And I feel like that's the same. Like I want to build cars that are that way, and I think that that's where everybody else is going too. They want to drive them. Every customer that I'm talking to like is saying I want to be able to drive it. I want to be able to drive it. You know, like we used to not put windshield wipers on anything, and now everybody's like, no, I want to be able to drive it, so it's got to have windshield wipers. So,
You think that is the age of the customer that's wanting to do this, or this is customers that have had those cars that they couldn't drive, and they're like, now I want to. What do you think? Why do you think that is?
I think it's both.
I think it's both too. Yeah.
If you look at our customer base, you've got the older customers that have done all the super high-end show cars, and they've probably gotten sick and tired of sitting behind the car and just talking about it at a car show and cleaning it and trailering it and moving it from this show to this show to this show. But you've also got all these young customers that they don't want to do
Don't
that
wanna go to a
shit.
car show.
Yeah, they want to be out like having some fun. It's a getaway. Like if they can, they're obviously all younger, successful guys. If they've got an opportunity to break free from, their business, their career, whatever they have going on, they want to enjoy themselves. So, 3, 4, 5 days out on the road, cruising, seeing the sights, enjoying the cars, enjoying some friends, having some cocktails, sitting around shooting the shit. That's seems
Yeah.
to be what people want to do.
You doing any road tours this year?
Absolutely. We're doing the Barrett Jackson in September. The gold Chevelle we did, the 67 on the spec chassis. That's a perfect example. That's one of my best friends. Known him since I was 6 years old, and he's put himself in a financial position where he's able to afford something like that. And he likes old cars. He's been into old cars. He got into them as a kid from his uncle, and he could give a shit less about going to a car show. Cars and coffee, maybe that's okay for 2-3 hours. That's cool. He lives out in Scottsdale, Arizona, and but going for a weekend, he's not about it. He's wants to get behind the wheel, and we did the Barrett Jackson road tour last year from Scottsdale to Washington, and then we're going to do the one this year in that car as well. And then
Where's that one going?
I think it starts in Colorado and then kind of makes a loop out to Salt Lake City, up through Montana, Wyoming, Dakotas, and then back ends in Iowa.
We doing that?
Oh, we signed
Maybe
up.
we signed up for
Yeah.
it.
I did. That's not what I asked.
Yeah, we're doing it. Something.
Reserved a spot.
So we have that car that's going on it, and then Brad, the guy who owns the '69 Firebird, the green car, we're finishing a '70 Trans Am for him right now, with another Pontiac powered motor in it, that he's going to drive on the tour. This car is like specifically built to just be his driver, be a daily driver, and I think that's a perfect example of like what Jeremy was saying. Like the guys have either done it and they're like ready to, like, he owns the green car, and the green car is perfectly capable of doing it. It's just to take apart the front end of that car to repaint half of it's not going to be fun or cheap. So his thing is, let's build a car that I can just hop in and drive and beat the shit out of, and if it gets all rock chipped up, then who gives a shit? And so that's that car. So he's kind of like got both worlds, and then I've got some other customers that are like, I just want to drive the shit out of this thing. I want to be able to drive it. And then I've also got the customers that are like, I want to be able to drive it, but I also want it really nice. Like the blue Camaro that we did with a removable hardtop a few years ago. That car gets driven a lot. It's in South Florida, and he drives it a lot. So it's a really nice car, but it also gets driven. And I think that's the most important thing. Like we're making these cars, like I don't care how nice they are, I still want it to be drivable at the end of the day. And I think that's part of the reason why I've never done the indoor show car circuit, or really don't have any desire to, because it's like, in order to do that shit and to do it right, the car is really not going to be that drivable when it's all said and done.
Chrome your rotors.
Yeah.
Don't you find like it presents a whole new challenge though when you're building something to drive it? Like I enjoy that process of the challenge of like, make it sit perfectly well, make the pedals work phenomenally well. Put the steering wheel exactly where it belongs. What diameter should the wheel be? How thick should the wheel be? Where should the shifter be placed? How can we make it shift? There's so many things that you can do to make
All those creature comforts.
to make
too.
the driving experience better. That it kind of takes the place of, like you said, should I chrome the rotors?
Yeah.
Do I
Or
polish
nickel
the
plate
ro-
them, or
I-
black
I-
chrome them.
Fix the
It's
rotors,
so-
dude.
hide
Like,
the map light, or where can you
Yeah.
do these cup holders, where you can you do that?
It's so funny that you say all this stuff because I remember fighting things in early days and years back where it's like, well, how do we make this nicer? How do we change this? Where we like struggle with those things, and now it's like, and then you didn't even think about all the drivability things, and now it's more of like, well, shit, that's cool, but that ain't gonna work when it comes down to it. That ain't gonna
shave
happen.
the windshield wipers.
Yeah.
Throw that master booster up under the,
The dash,
I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then you
Do
talk
some hidden
about,
door
like,
poppers.
yeah, you used to run like, all right, let's put the fucking exhaust dead center out the rear body panel. We'll like basically shit can the entire trunk.
Yeah.
And now
But
you're
you could
looking at-
preheat the gas though, which
Well,
is
yeah,
nice.
and now you're looking at it, it's like, all right, how much stuff can we, the battery, the subs, how much
Make
can we
the
move forward in the
trunk the
package
big
tray
as
so I
possible.
can get the
Yep.
most
I-
shit in the trunk because I'm
it's-
going to drive this bitch across the country.
It's so funny that you said that because I was on the phone conversation before I came here with the customer Brad that we're doing the 74, and like he's wanting to put like some subs and stuff in the trunk of this car, and he's got these 212s, and I'm like, I don't think we have enough space. I mean, we can put them back there, but you need to put luggage back there. We have access for a fuel pump if we have any mechanical maintenance that needs to be done.
do
like
a couple tins underneath the
yeah,
hat rack,
let's think about like logically like what's practical here, instead of what looks cool or what would have been
Yep.
the best option. So our whole aspect has changed on these cars. Like we spend a lot more time now on the final assembly side of fine tuning things than we used to before. And like I said earlier, is like we got to assembly and I felt like I was losing my ass because it shouldn't take that long to put this car together. And now it's like that's kind of almost the most important part is all this shit has to work. Because if it don't work, the customer's gonna be pissed off and it's not gonna be enjoyable to drive, and it's not enjoyable to drive, why own it?
100%, man.
I think the industry's come a long way as well from the drivability standpoint. Like 10, 15 years ago, realistically, they probably couldn't be driven across country. I mean,
100%.
you're not getting a Bill Mitchell 540 big block to cool and drive down the road with a shitty mechanical fan and small
You're not
radiator.
getting it
That
to cool.
Motown.
You're not getting it to cool with an electric fucking fan.
Not the
but-
hardcore, huh?
And not to credit you guys any more than you deserve, but
We'll take it.
we've done some cars with not your chassis underneath them or not your suspension underneath them, and then had at the same time had one that has yours, and it's like, I don't know why I wouldn't have spent a quarter of the amount of the money this guy's got in this thing, because if he rode in this one, like there's no different, like there's no comparison. Like this is like night and day difference. The drivability of this thing based on the way the car handles the road, and it's like something I want to get in and drive. It's like that gold Chevelle. That gold Chevelle, you get in that thing, you hop in it, and it drives like no other '67 Chevelle I've ever been in, and it's got a spec chassis underneath it. It's not, you bolt on. My dad's got a '66 with a bunch of big name competitor. Coilover suspension on factory chassis and shit, and it's okay.
You
But
can name
well, I just called him out on social media not too long
Okay.
ago, so
We don't
you
need to go-
you can connect the dots. But anyways, it's just there's no comparison. It's night and day difference.
Well, I
And
appreciate
think-
the compliment and stuff, but how many cars have you done without our chassis? Because had we known that, like this whole probably wouldn't have happened. Like, you've got to let us know that beforehand. We thought you were all roadster shop. I mean, we're gonna have to.
If
start
I
have a
vetting-
say in it, we
start
are.
vetting these guys
Get in that.
beforehand.
No, I tell all the guys too. Like we've had a couple guys talk about that and how the chassis work so well, but it really, a lot of the credit goes to the builder because there's so much that has to do with making a car work well that complements the chassis. That's beyond just putting the chassis under the car. You've got to execute the fucking car right for all that stuff to work as a total package, which not a lot of people can do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But you can execute the car
Well, yeah,
to the
you can
top
actually-
level
yeah.
and put a shit chassis
Right.
underneath
They
it and
just
have
still got
shit
shit.
results.
Yeah, 100%. But we can execute the chassis to the best of level and give it in the same thing. I mean, like toe link being on the wrong side of the spindle. It's very
True.
simple to mess up something.
It is.
And credit to you and other builders that are like, let's get through the problem versus being like, it sucks. It sucks. You know, and blaming it on one thing versus trying to dissect and figure out what the thing is. Sometimes at the end of the day, there is brands and products that just don't suck, right? But there's also a lot of times, unfortunately, that it comes to, user error or a mistake here or a mistake there, especially nowadays to your point of how things have progressed with the companies that have cared to push their products and get better and better and better. And I think it's pretty easy to see the companies that don't, that have continued to build the same thing that they were building 20 something plus years ago,
drastically falling off, and they're not staying with the curve, and
right.
It's gone like exponential. And I feel like in a lot of the stuff that you used to be able to like get by with, now like you look back what we were using 5 years ago and you're like, yeah, the stuff now is so much better, so much more advanced. That's where I was going, not trying to get the plug to us, but I appreciate it. But I was thinking like, the LS LT platforms and all the cooling and all the fuel injection and the gauges from Dakota and bare brakes, all that stuff has just gotten so much better, and it makes it so much easier for all the builders to get the right stuff and have that drivability that I don't think was possible back then.
I think a lot of that has to do with the transition from street rods to muscle cars as well. Granted, I love an old school hot rod as much or more than the next guy, but when you're transitioning into more muscle cars that you are driving, like you expect a little bit more. I think. I mean, when you built a fiberglass, Downs bodied 37, with a fast burn,
you
3D.
pretty much expected it to be a giant steaming pile of shit.
At no point did you throw it on the interstate at 85 and start being like, what? What's
why are the doors fucking red? Why did the passenger door just blow open and fold fucking backwards?
You know what I'm saying? So
I do.
At Louisville, Street Rod Nationals, what was there in the early 2000s, those guys weren't like really critical or complaining about the car not doing what it's supposed to, because those cars never tried to make the trip.
Yeah.
You didn't go out and be like, you know what, going on a road tour.
I'm taking my Wild Rods pickup.
Or they drive them in like 55. Like,
right.
I'm like, fuck, I'm doing 85.
Right.
Like, that's where, that's why you're having all the problems. Well, that's how I fucking drive. So it better be able to handle how I drive.
Right.
Yeah, they were kind of backloaded too with the weight of the Rascal scooter on the hitch off the back. That kind of took the weight off the nose.
I am still interested. Like, we just drove a 2020 Denali 3500 with a trailer from here to Columbus, and it's fucking deadly. I would like compare it almost to running the Baja when you're going down I-65.
At least your kidneys would.
If you put some folks on the side of the road watching and taking pictures, it would be the Baja.
Right. So how the fuck, like, you still see guys in like these like 33 sedan or a 32 Fender coupe, and it's got an I-beam front end, with just a monoleaf spring.
Well, I'm telling you this,
the 1994
But
shots.
they're driving. They're like just driving around.
They don't
country.
go I-65 to Indianapolis. There's
either-
no possible way.
Either they
from
change the metallurgy in the
Dude,
steel.
we're in the dually with
in
the
those-
trailer and the OBS. We hit a bridge transition. First of all, it narrowed in, so there's cones on both sides of the roads. We hit a bridge transition with an 18-wheeler. We hit the bridge transition at 85. We came up, and then Jeremy like kicked the wheel, so we like threw the trailer off to the side a little bit.
Well,
Just
'cause
did a little bit of
it was like in a sweeper.
did a little bit of a knack,
Yeah.
and
I opened the door, kicked my legs out. It's like a little.
the truck and the trailer came, no lie, it was 10 to 36 inches off of the ground.
Small window
I
there.
was going with 4 to 6, like on the trailer, but there was.
We know Josh exaggerates numbers.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
it
that
was
first time you
airborne.
hit the ramp with your dirt bike, and you're like, I was 6 feet in the air. And,
And
oh,
then
you were
look
6
at the-
inches.
Yeah, you look at the picture and you're like, oh, fuck.
Regardless, we came off the ground.
But anyway, those cars, it's just, I feel like it must just be the fact that those guys haven't gotten into any of these updated muscle cars,
They don't know.
that they just don't, they don't know. It's like riding a hardtail chopper pretty much, across country.
you've
Yeah,
made your
you can
excuses.
do it.
Right. You've made your excuses to yourself, and this
Right.
is what.
Yeah. I imagine hitting that bump with a Mustang too front end.
Oh, Jesus.
Just shatter.
No,
Just
hitting
going.
it's fine. It's the landing
Landing.
part that's the problem.
Yeah, you
As soon as you
can't
land,
hit it anything,
it just
right?
takes you off to the right.
Ugh.
Yeah, well, transitioning into some of the questions that we ask
Well,
every
I-
single guest.
Before
Oh,
we get there,
I had a couple.
yeah,
going
before
too.
we get there, I got to
Rip
talk
it.
about.
Come
So
on.
you keep talking about like all the survivor cars, and the thing we've totally blown past, which in my eyes is what makes you stand out as a builder, not just the final execution, but the metal work that you do is it's not like any other hot rod shops. Where did your passion come from, or is that your passion when it comes to the metal shaping, the metal finishing? Because there's obviously a very different look in what you're doing on the metalwork side than your average hot rod shop. I mean, you guys are way, way up there. Where did that experience come from? Is that maybe you don't even know that? Maybe you're
Or
just
do
doing
you,
it.
do
and
you
you're
own
just-
stock in Scotch Brite?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Scotch Brite, DA pads, all that good stuff. Man, searching for perfection, I think, is the answer to that. Never being satisfied with the end result unless it's better than the last time. And pushing every one of my guys to have that same expectation. Like, if I can see pinholes in the welds, or not even necessarily pinholes, but if I can still see the weld, it's not good enough. You know, it needs to disappear 100%. And my end goal was always, if someone were to take this car and blast it in 30 years, what are they gonna see when they're done? You know, like we get cars in and we blast them, and someone's put some scabby patches and shit. Like, in 30 years, when someone gets one of our cars to restore it or do whatever they're gonna do with it, 50 years, however long ago, and they blast it, I want to be able to be proud of what was left. Even though, like, it's going to get body worked, it's going to get skim coated from front to back, and know that, like, there's a quality product underneath there, and it's not just grout with 36 grit and left. You know, we finish it out all the way. And as far as passion goes, yeah, 100%. Like, that's where, like, when I first started, that was, to me, my main focus is, like, how to do metal work the best that we possibly can, how to have the best metal work possible with what we've got. And so I put a lot of emphasis on the metal side of things, and I still do. That's still my passion. That's still my favorite thing to do. Every guy in the shop gets pushed to that level. You know, there's some guys that can do a lot more complex stuff, but even the guys that are doing the basic stuff, they still have to finish it to that same level. You know, even if it's just welding up some marker light holes or whatever it may be, gapping a door out, I want it to be finished.
So how did you develop that skill set? Is that entirely on your own?
I mean, it's, for the most part, trial and error. I mean, there's definitely people along the way that have helped. I've took a little, some weekend courses here and there, but most of it's been trial and error, and just communication with other metal shaping guys that have done it before me. I mean, I used to visit rad rides pretty frequently, and they've always had phenomenal metal shapers in there, and those guys are willing to share all their secrets of the trade and dare you to.
It's like going to NASA.
It is. I mean, it's terrible. Like, I thought about, on the way up here today, I was like, I thought about stopping by there and checking it out, but, like, you leave there inspired
and defeated
at the same time. It's like you leave there and you're like, holy shit, man, I need to go back and do this and this and this. And at the same time, you're like, and I also need to just throw everything else away and start over. And so I think ultimately, like, that had rad rides in general had a huge influence on me, as well as you guys, like,
100%.
especially like in the early days when I was building that 31. I remember getting on your website and checking out, because you guys were doing a lot of hot rods then, and seeing how you were doing the hoods and the side panels and shit, and just seeing, like, what other people were doing, and like pushing it to be as good as they were, or as close as we could get, and not settling for, that goes back to that car for Sid. It's like, well, would he be okay with us just MIG welding it and grinding it out and mudding it? Yeah, but I'm not okay with that. So if it takes 2 hours to do that, or 10 hours to do this, I'm going to do it the 10-hour way and charge him the 2-hour way until I can perfect my skills enough to where I feel confident enough charging in them. And so that's kind of how we did it. And it was a lot of trial and error, and a lot of just, questions along the way of how do you do this? How do you do that? What changes? And just honestly, like, I feel hands-on is the best way to learn. At least it was for me. Learn from your mistakes. I don't know how many. I mean, even when we were building that charger, like I built this radiator cover underneath it. It was all aluminum, and I got the whole thing damn near done. And I was like, shit, scrapped it, threw it in the back of my truck, junk, started over because it was all aluminum and it worked. It warped up goofy, and it was in a position where I couldn't get it back out. You just got to start over.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to learn is from your mistakes. I feel like,
dude. Honestly, for me, my temper taught me a lot as far as metal shaping, because nobody ever told me about like stretching metal. Like after you weld something together, I had no idea that you put a dolly behind it and you stretch. Like shrinking, stretching, it didn't register with me, right? So I knew there were like, first I started like I'd make a lower cowl patch in or something. And I knew there were these shrinking hammers. Remember, like shrinking hammer? It's a joke.
Meat tenderizer.
Yeah, meat tenderizer. So I'd like, you'd hit it with that, and you're like, God, it's not doing anything. Well, so I built these hood sides for a 32, and I put this like wild little detail on it, and it fit so well. I had everything fit up, and it was all T-dollied and everything, and then I welded it all up, and it just turned into like a fucking Pringle, So I'm getting so fucking frustrated, and I got it laying on the bench, and I'm like, I'm hitting it with my body hammer right onto the fucking thick metal of the bench, and then I'm hitting it some more, and I'm hitting it some more, and I'm getting fucking pissed off. Like I'm like, I've ruined this fucking panel, and I keep beating the shit out of it, and I'm like, it's like it's starting to lay down, as I'm doing this, because I'm beating the shit right where I fucking welded it, and I'm just kicking the shit out of it with just a low crown body hammer, because it was, kind of a low crown panel, and it's like settling down. And that was like all of a sudden I realized, like it clicked in my head. I'm like, oh dude, if you weld it, like it gets like really tight. You need to like hit it really hard, and but there was just nobody there to tell me exactly like what I just did. Like, okay, you just welded this. For your average fabricator that doesn't know sheet metal, I mean, you don't pay attention that like if you're welding 10 gauge, it's not even in your mind that I'm going to weld this and it's going to suck up and I've got to beat the shit out of it for it to relax, but it's
a little more mud.
Yeah.
I remember those
grind
days
and
perfectly, like mini truck days, welding up door handles and you're MIG welding them on, and then
fucking door just
and then you're like, well, how the hell do I do this? And then you hear you start reading on the internet or whatever, you talk to people and they're like, oh, you need to cool it with water, or you need to get your blowgun out,
put a bigger gap in it,
you get the bigger gap so when it shrinks up, and it's like, God,
dude,
damn.
cool it with water, so that brings it up. It's taking me back now.
Then it gets hard as a fuck.
Well, yeah. So when I was working for the old man, Bill O'Rourke years ago, that was his way of doing metal work. Everything had to be 18 or 16 gauge because he said that leaves more metal to grind. So I'm welding this firewall.
Are we MIG welding?
No, this was TIG.
Oh, okay.
So we had a TIG welder. It was a Miller TIG, like a synchro wave from the 70s or 80s. So the pedal looked like the Ghostbusters track.
I had one of those.
Yeah, it had the louvers on the side, right?
It's
this monster, right? And I'll never forget because I'm welding this flat ass firewall in a Model A, and he had coffee cans, Folgers coffee cans, like stacks of them, because you'd take those and you'd fill them with water.
Put your red shop rag in.
Red shop rag in it, and you weld like 3-4 inches,
then cool it,
and then cool it. So I'll never forget sitting there, and I'm sitting on my little work stool, my little Harbor Freight work stool, and I'm welding this fucking firewall, one end to the other, and just cool. And it all of a sudden dawned, I'm like, that's a big plug plugged into the wall. And I'm sitting in a shit ton of water with this Ghostbusters pedal, and I'm cool. And it's like, it didn't feel right, And I think that was another rude awakening, is to like,
and then
maybe I should read some books or something.
Fast forward a few years, the Sun Chaser comes out.
I never fucked with the Sun Chaser.
Oh, really? The shrinking disc?
Yeah, I never.
Oh yeah, man. I got a guy that works for me now that
we got some guys that
loves that thing, and he'll get going with it and shrinking with it, and then he's wearing his jeans and he just shrinking, and he, right on his leg, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna cut your fucking leg off doing that shit, and he's so good at it, and I've tried it a couple of times. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that.
Hopping back on what you're saying, like you want, your product in 30 years, somebody blasts it, they want to see. Are you still, after this many years doing it, surprised that when you do blast a car, you're like, holy fuck, that was under there, and it's been 30 years and it's been fine. Like you didn't see it under the paint.
Yeah, I want
You're
to
just
buy
like,
that old Bondo that
Yeah, the
shit
old
holds
Bondo
up forever.
or I mean, lap weld on top of lap weld, on top of plug, on top of no welds, on top of just screws, on top of newspaper and chicken wire.
You're not making a point in our favor here.
Yeah, but you put that much
No,
filler on there, it's
but
got
no,
that much
but
more time to
nowadays-
pop out.
Yeah, dude, like you can fucking nowadays you can metal finish a goddamn panel. You can like make it flawless with the tightest little skim coat of filler, prime it, finish it, base it, paint it, and like there could be the most minute imperfection in there, some piece of dirt, and it will blow up into the size of like a silver dollar. But you'll get a fucking car in here as a project car that you're like,
They,
that fucking
they just
thing
span
looks-
the gap.
No, you're
There's
looking
no
at it
metal
and you're
underneath
like,
it.
looks pretty good. I mean, cars fucking.
But you know you're gonna blast it.
So you're gonna blast it anyway, and you blast it, and like you said,
there's no metal there.
I mean, it's fucking chicken wire and rebar and street signs and filler and paper mache, and how the fuck
It's
it,
lasted that
and
long.
but,
We
but
got
it
one
never
of those right
shrank,
now.
it never popped, it never like no, it's just fucking perfectly straight.
It's because that rust has to work through so much more material to pop the paint. Oh yeah, those
Fucking force field under there.
yeah, those suck. Yo, so
It's even not just the bodywork side. It's amazing the standards that you hold yourselves to. We do, you do as well. So many other shops around the country do the same thing. When you're putting something together and you're stressing every little detail. You talked about like final assembly, like, I mean, grease where it's supposed to be, lube where it's supposed to be. I mean, everything tight. I mean, cotter key. Okay, heat's going to be here. We're going to do all this kind of stuff. And you do all that, and then you're driving it. You're like, the first time out, correct me if I'm wrong. There's not been a guy out here that the first time out, it's like, fucking done. No punch list. There's always a punch list. There's always like, oh, this could be a little bit there. And then you drive some other cars, whether it be, at a show, somebody's like, drive my car.
And
Drive
you're
my-"
like, they didn't make a punch list.
and
Right? Is that where you going with that?
yeah, they didn't make a punch list. Or there's some things like we've had cars come in at different times, chasing something, and you get under the hood or you put it up on the lift and you're looking, you're like, fuck, I just drove this, But those things that you're seeing, whatever those things might be, didn't cause an issue whatsoever. It's driving down the road. You're like, this thing's not that fucking bad. You got a little bit of a rear end noise, We're going to look at the rear end and check that. Then you get under it and you're like, oh, there's not even a bolt in the brake pedal. And it's just wire. I didn't feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing the things that you stress over.
And that people can get away with.
And then the people can get away with. It's fucking... Anybody that's been doing this long enough has those stories. They're like, they've been under those cars like, how's it still going?
There's no bolts holding the transmission to the cross member. How?
It's just but it's not a vibration one.
I've got there's two stories with that one. Number one, we recently had a vehicle in here that somebody built. It was the first time. I mean, I've driven some hairy shit, fast shit that's nowhere near ready to be driven. I'll drive it, This is the one and only thing where I legitimately was like, I'm not driving this. I will not drive this car. And even when I had to drive it, I was supposed to be taking a guy along with me. I said, no, I'll drive this by myself because
Your life is more
well,
important.
I legitimately something bad's bound to happen, and I do not want you involved in it. So that was one, and the other one was, remember that truck that came in here that sometimes there's an anomaly.
That's the one that was in my head the whole time.
It like, how you try to like isolate everything, heat shield everything, you're striving for perfection.
right.
Like on a car that we build, or I'm sure you build, if the exhaust just gently touches anything, it's gonna
Like through the
resonate
whole
through
car.
the whole fucking car. I mean, this fucker came in here.
They threw caution
Yes.
to the wind.
Rigid motor mounts, just metal to the block motor mounts, metal to the transmission mount, exhaust. There weren't any mounts that just laid on whatever
Everything.
it laid on.
Drive shaft was hitting 3 to
Yeah,
6
drive
different
shaft had
places.
all, the rings the drive shaft gets when it touches.
Oh, yeah.
something. The cab just sitting right down on the metal chassis, metal.
Not even
touching
1/8 inch rubber.
everywhere. And like one of those, I don't know if it was like a voodoo coyote or like a rowdy ass coyote. And I'm telling you, got this. It was like driving a fucking 7 Series BMW. It was on our chassis. And I'm like, how is this fucking possible? Like, I mean, not a goddamn vibration in the thing. Like,
they're balancing
noise,
out.
yeah.
They're all vibrating. They're just balancing each other
They
out.
got that perfect harmonic of everything.
The clutch was like a fucking slave cylinder attached to a master cylinder attached to a
Like, come
cable
along.
with a, and like somehow the shifter was behind you, like legitimately back here, and it just
So
somehow.
we all took turns and we enjoyed. Like
Yeah,
it was a fun
Yeah,
vehicle.
I don't know. Maybe we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
We might be doing it all wrong.
Yeah, the more you strive for perfection, the harder it is to get all those little details worked out. If, like those guys that do that shit, they just throw it together. It's like they don't care, and then it all fucking works.
Dude,
somehow.
it ran. It
Yeah.
didn't overheat.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah, well, that was one of those with the the things you push through the radiator, the
Yeah.
fan.
Had those.
Had
Yeah.
those with no fan shroud, no,
The
we,
copper coil,
yeah.
little pigtail for the
we
temp
sit there
sensor.
and we sit
Ran
there. and we
175 degrees.
Yeah, we sit there and we stare at the shroud. You think we should put 6 flaps in it or 4 flaps in it? I think if we increase the core like 3/8 of an inch, we'll get X amount more cooling.
It depends on what gauges you put in it.
What do you mean by that?
Next up, what'd you have?
Yeah.
Phil?
I would say I think you've taken a pretty different approach than most hot rod shops here in the recent years. I think it's something we definitely need to touch on is kind of taking a lot of the one-off parts that you've built for cars and then turning that into more of a production part that other builders can buy, other home builders can buy. What was the thought process behind that, and how did that take shape, and where's it going?
So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That's definitely something I want to pursue further, and keep that product line growing. It all started on this 69 Firebird that we're building right now. It came to the time, it was like, we need to put some mirrors on it. We've machined everything on this car. Everything's, one off, this and that. What mirrors can we do? And there's a couple different people out there making mirrors, and there was nothing that we saw.
5th gen Camaro.
Yeah, there you go. Nothing that we saw that fit, or either it was too big or whatever. And I was like, man, we got to do some one-off mirrors. And so we did, and it rang a bell in my head. That's like, this needs to be something that you can productionize. And when we did that first Firebird, I keep bringing that car up, but it shows to me that it really did pave a way for the business and for repeat business and customers to come. But I had numerous people calling me, hey, can I buy that grill, that front end that you built for that car with the headlights and everything? And it was, at the time, it was one off. And
Technically, yes.
yeah,
You
but
don't
I need
have
your
the money.
car. Like, you got to send me your car. Well, I'm in California. I don't want to send you my car. I just want to buy the parts. I'm like, well, that's not going to happen, And so fast forward to, whatever, 5, 6, 7 years later, when we started the second 69 Firebird, I thought about that in the beginning. I was like, well, should I build something for the front end of this car that we can sell? And it was like, yeah, but there's no good way to do it because it's such a large piece, and to do it good enough for this one car, for this customer that we're building a real high-end car for, that can be productionized.
Without having
And
to
it doesn't take
modify the
modified,
35
yeah.
things that are around
We
it.
can
Exactly.
make the piece, but
Yeah.
400 hours later, it'll bolt on.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
and again, then it's like labor intensive. So I was like, no, I never did it. So then we started doing the Firebird, and we were machining parts left and right and doing this and doing that. And it's all one off. And it came to the mirrors, and the doors on that car are modified, but the area where the mirror's at on that car is totally stock. And I was like, okay, we're going to do a one-off mirror for this car, and it's going to be for this car. And then we're going to change the design, but use all the same geometry and internals and do a production mirror for a 69 Camaro. We'll also work on a second-gen Camaro. And so we had a lot of time in R&D in those things and designing them and figuring everything out, and angles and positions and glass research on who to make the glass and how the glass should be and what angles the mirrors should be at compared to like an OEM. And I wanted something that you could see out of, because you get into a lot of these classic cars and seeing out of the driver's side mirror, yeah, maybe a little bit. Seeing out of the passenger side mirror, forget about it. It ain't going to happen. And to me, I was like, if we're going to do it, it's got to be something that you can actually use. It's got to be.
Tell me a 2-inch Hagen hat view. fat view or whatever the things are on the side.
They're a little
You're
convex to
gonna
them.
stand there. You're gonna tell me.
Yeah. So we changed the design a little bit to something that I felt was more that the mirrors that are on that Firebird are built for that car, and specifically for that car. So we changed the design a little bit, something that would be a wider variety of cars that it would fit, and then took it to production, and we won the Good Guys New Product Award of the Year with it back in, I don't know, 2019, and have been selling them since. And then we've developed square body C10 mirrors that are a bolt-on option as well. I have a C10 for myself, and we got into the Camaro mirrors, and I was like, well, I want to do something for my truck. This isn't necessarily something that I want to sell, but if it works out, we'll sell them. And we did them, and they work great. You can actually see out of your mirrors. They don't vibrate around. And it was a void I felt in the marketplace. Like, I didn't want to do some other bullshit trinket that, Eddie Motorsports sells, or somebody, Billet Specialties sells, something that somebody already does. I wanted to do something to where, like, this is your only option. If there's another option, maybe there's one other, or it's shit. And so my goal was to build something that, that would fill that void in the marketplace for a quality part. I mean, that was the most important thing to me, is like, if we sell 10 sets, great. If we sell 500 sets, great. But it's going to be a quality part. And if it's too expensive and it doesn't work, or, if it doesn't sell because of that, that's fine, but it needs to be a quality part that we can put out and be happy with. And, if someone calls up and says, they're too expensive, and we kind of solve that issue a little bit. But if they do, then it's just not for them. It's still, I'm not going to jeopardize the quality of the product because, a lot of the population can't afford it. It's a quality product. It's an expensive product, but if you want something that's going to work, this is your option. So we did that, and we got them in a billet option. And then we had some guys wanting carbon fiber. So we did an upgrade on that to where you can get a carbon fiber housing. And then we have the guys that want to be cheap and buy the fiberglass version. That'll save them about $400.
You probably need to phrase that a different way. Just the guys that
It's just a more budget. It's just more
budget friendly. Yeah.
Yeah.
A guy that complains about, hey, I don't want to spend $1,500 on your mirrors. Okay, you can spend $950 on them and get them with the fiberglass housing. It's
if
the
you're
same
painting it, you don't know the difference.
Exactly. It's the same exact internals, same arm. It functions the exact same way, but instead of being a billet aluminum housing, it's a fiberglass housing.
That's smart. It's really smart.
Dude, but for like the square body trucks and really anything that's like a 60s or 70s truck, those mirrors are kick ass, because there's nothing that exists that will fit that truck and be functional. We're doing a Jimmy right now, a 79 Jimmy, and we picked up a set of the mirrors. Dude, they're like, it is the absolute perfect piece for them. It fits, like, whether it's if you're keeping all the stock trim, if it's a Survivor, they look bitchin'. If you're going to modify it and bring it up to date, paint the mirror and then it looks perfect.
Right.
But it's functional. It's big enough that you can see out of the thing. You can use it.
You think those square bodies are going to take off?
The square bodies?
Yeah, you think people can start building them?
One of these
Being
days.
that the whole fucking shop is filled with them, I would think
Decent
that,
chance.
I think they're coming on.
What I found funny about our mirrors, though, is like, we got the square body mirrors, which are pretty specific to square bodies. I've had a couple guys put them on, like Josh Hart's putting them on a 65 C10, and they
Oh, sorry. Just had to do
It's just becoming the thing of like all the badass.
Yeah.
But most of the guys that are buying the square body ones are putting them on square bodies. Now the Camaro ones, which we designed for Camaros, first and second gen Camaros, I think we've probably sold just as many sets to Camaro guys as we have for guys that are putting them on everything. And they're just either, we've got a alternative option on an arm that's a little bit longer so they can grind it and shape it to their door to get it to sit right. Or they're taking them and modifying them. I know Rad Rides is putting them on that third gen Camaro that we've got right now, and they made their own arm to bolt to that car. So there's a lot of guys that are just using them on whatever.
You know what that means, Phil?
If you're capable of modification.
Nobody's putting them on a Nova. The mirrors cost more than a Nova.
Wrong way.
God damn it, Phil. That's enough with a Novus. It's a fucking high end.
I was going to go with they could fit the Miata. You can just do them on one side because
He
of
just
weight.
keeps shitting on the fucking Nova.
Does he realize how much every time he says no?
Yeah, we say the. He says no. We say the.
It's costing.
Derailed.
It's costing.
Well,
money.
the Camaro mirrors, they fit the stock door pattern.
Yeah, they'll bolt right on.
So-
You just got to drill the factory holes out, and then they go right in the factory hole. So
It's the same stock they use on Chevelles, Novas, everything, right?
yeah, like an A body Chevelle, like a 66, 67, they'll bolt right on. We have a longer arm for those to, if you want to, you can keep them tight into the body, the wing window won't open. We've got a longer arm to where the wing window will still function. So they'll bolt on those cars as well, as the Camaro. The 70 second gen Chevelles, they will not bolt on. We are working on those right now though.
You know what they call those wing windows in the South, don't you?
AC.
Cod coolers.
AC.
Just letting you
Yeah,
know.
you put them on the front of your double wide. You're pulling that sucker down the highway.
You throw them camo shorts right up there like that and turn that thing in, blows down, cools those cods right off.
Well, in addition to the mirrors, though, you've got a pretty extensive product line.
Yeah, we got door handles as well. That'll bolt on a lot of different GM cars, Chevelles, Camaros, anything with that same style, a door handle, they'll bolt on. And then we've also built in a micro switch into those handles. So a lot of the cars that we use, I don't know, I'm sure you guys are probably using too, running like newer style GM electronic latches. So that'll wire right into your electronic latch. So, you can, wire up your micro switch that's already mounted in the handle.
Nice.
and it functions for that. And then we're doing some rear view mirrors. We got some turn signal stocks, some AC control panels, some different badges for LT and LS engines, bunch of little trinkets. So you just get on our website and check it out.
I think you've done a perfect job of honing in on like the generic universal parts. What is on every single hot rod that can afford to be a little bit better or just different than everybody else's.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all that
And it's stuff that nobody else is doing. Too.
Exactly. Yeah, all that stuff is right there. So, we're using some of the stuff. We'll use, continue to use more of it. I'd encourage everybody to jump on, check it out, because when you look at shops like, guys like yourself, and you start developing products, you don't realize the value that you're getting, because there's some guy who spent a lot of money, for you to design all that cool shit at some point in time, and it just kind of gets out there.
Not to sound too stupid, but it's just like FUBU. I mean, it's by builders for builders. I mean, if you're building cars, you're building.
FUBU.
Yeah, FUBU for us, by us.
That's how you tie that in.
Yeah, people listen and they're going to get it. You don't understand. Like, it comes across different after the edit.
There's a lot of when
And
that's
you see
completely gone.
Things seem weird right now live, but dude, when you're listening to it, yeah.
But no, that one doesn't work though.
When somebody's building cars for a living and they're also building products, generally, to your point, those products are solving problems.
Yes, you're using them. It's not just a build it in space, sell it. I'm sure it's been on and off the cars with countless revisions to get them to where you want to be, to where
you've never built a product and then installed it in the shop and be like, fucking nailed it.
One and done.
Yeah. There's always been all right, well, shit, we got to do this, we got to do that.
For sure.
Until when it comes to the public, when it's time to buy, you've already gone through all those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, FUBU. Fucking, it's understood. I don't understand.
Is that kind of like your FGL shirt? FUBU, FGL, FUBU, FGL, kind of the same thing.
What's FGL?
Your favorite band.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, buddy.
Right. These abbreviations.
That is Florida Georgia line.
So right at 3
listeners at
hours
home.
is what it took. That I don't fucking play that shit. All right.
No, you literally play that shit. Yeah.
That's something that they've been trying to pin on me.
It didn't come out of nowhere.
You think I got upset about Dixon? Fuck some Florida Georgia.
I do
line.
have like a serious question though. Like this is a serious question.
Serious.
So I listened to the Miranda podcast, and it's a lot about his brodozer. Are you a brodozer also?
No.
No.
Are
you sure?
101,000%.
Okay. All right. I was just curious. I knew the Florida Georgia line, brodozer. I mean, I kind of felt like it all tied together.
We're gonna fight.
I'm just trying to figure you out.
Yeah, it's a
At heart,
it's
yes.
a Raptor, but like that's got
But what?
bang. It's what is it? Bowkers and Wilkins. Is that the stereo system in that?
I'm not gonna correct you.
Man, does
I
that?
won't correct you.
Was that right, Phil?
No.
Bowers.
Bang & Olufsen.
Okay, so you got a different. Yeah, but
But-
at any rate, it fucking thumps some Florida Georgia.
Tell the
line.
truth. right now?
Josh, interesting fact. Josh lives. What would you say? It's probably like you're a quarter mile from me, but you're almost like. I mean, I could throw a football.
Say what you want.
I
This
couldn't.
all be edited out.
Phil
so
could
it's
throw.
fine.
Phil could throw a football from my house to your house if you were to cut through the woods. Every once in a while, like on a Friday or Saturday night, I know when he's having a good time because you'll hear it. I can kind of come out on my deck and you hear the Florida Georgia line.
Anybody that's listening knows I can go. You can talk a lot of shit. I'll take everything. I've got thick skin. That shit right there don't fucking fly. I don't listen to Florida Georgia line and let everybody know right now. That's not even fucking music, let alone country music.
I mean, I figured you're from close.
Yeah, he's right
down
on the
there
line.
that You might even have known him.
I can tell you something about Florida Georgia line. That
He wears the same jeans.
Does
You
he?
see all the embroidery in the pockets.
Okay.
I can tell you guys something about Florida Georgia line that you might know or might not know. The Florida Georgia line store at their bar in Nashville does not open until noon.
And Josh was.
And I know
pissed.
that because I was just in Nashville having a little brunch with some friends. And my number one goal was I didn't care what we're doing. You guys are going to stand there and you're going to wait because I'm walking 2 blocks that way to the FGL Bar and Grill and I'm buying Josh a fucking t-shirt and probably a banner, maybe a necklace, maybe some cowboy boots, something. And the fucking souvenir shop was not open. I even texted Jody and said, Josh is a medium, right? So yeah, I apologize for that. Maybe Amazon's got something I can.
I'm sure they do.
Y'all are trying to find something that's going to stick. People can look at me right now and know that I don't listen to Florida Georgia line. You got to find something better. The yellow Hummer didn't stick.
It's got a fucking magnet on it. It's got to stick.
It kind of sticks until Jeremy fucked up the suspension. But what else do you have, Phil?
That's
you
all
said
I
you had
got.
a few.
That's
all
it.
right. So now we have the time that we ask the standard questions. You think you know the standard questions because you've been listening, but we also can throw some curveballs. So you don't know what's coming.
We're not going to.
Best advice you've ever received?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably from my old man, and that's anything worth doing is worth doing right.
So that's been brought up different wording several times, but that's speaks to the perseverance.
I'd say that one, like overall for anything you're doing. You know, I try to tell my son that too. He's playing travel baseball, and it's the same deal. Like, hey, if you're gonna go out there and do it, you gotta give it your all. And then, like from a business standpoint, my buddy Roger he's told me something, and it at first I was like, man, I don't know if I understand that, or I don't know if I can, totally own up to that. But after sitting back and thinking about it, it's true, and I've thrown it back in his face several times. Is anything that happens in your shop is your fault, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's a customer issue, whether it's a parts issue, whether it's an employee issue, it's your fault. You got to own it no matter what, whether it's the fact that guy, that employee, wasn't right, or this job wasn't right. You got to own it. It's your fault ultimately because you're the man in control. And so I think that one's was a kind of a tough one to swallow, especially during, when you have some, tough times, but it stands true.
You read Jocko's book on that?
Jocko. No.
Jocko Willink. It's the same thing. It's about complete ownership.
Josh reads a lot of books.
You want a good book to read? I didn't read it. I listened to it, but that's Tim Grover's Relentless. You ever read that?
No, I haven't.
Write that down. He was the trainer for Michael Jordan, and then he went on and trained Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and he's doing books and stuff. So he has a pretty good book called Relentless, and it talks about how Michael Jordan was going through his time with winning championships and how he got to the point of success and what success looked like. And once he won, like we talked about with the awards, with whatever, once he won, that's cool, but tomorrow it's starting all over again.
Well, talking about what, like, Jocko's book is about it doesn't matter how far down the line, how far up the line, if somebody makes a mistake, whatever, you didn't do your job right.
Right.
You didn't explain to them what you expected.
Yep.
You didn't train them right. You didn't articulate the situation right. You didn't communicate. whatever it is, you should have done a better job, and then they would have done a better job.
Exactly. Yep. And figuring out how to own that. I mean, I have that problem still today. Like I'll explain something to an employee and it's like, to me, it's so simple. And it's like, I'll have to stop myself and say, did you understand what I said? And sometimes it's like comes out maybe wrong or whatever, but it's like, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing my job, because at the end, if you didn't understand, it's my fault. So
We use the analogy all the time, like I do. I mean, it's like tools in a toolbox. I mean, if you're trying to use a screwdriver to hammer a nail over and over and over and over, and you're getting pissed off at that screwdriver, it's not the screwdriver's fault.
right.
It's doing what it knows to do.
Yep.
It's your fault. You're using the wrong thing to do the wrong job.
Sure.
That's good advice.
Good
man.
advice.
That's a book I would. I'm not a big reader.
Yeah.
I am a
He's an MJ fan.
huge
Yep.
MJ fan.
Oh,
man.
then you definitely should read the book
I-
or listen to it. I didn't read it either. It's long. It's like,
I grew up in the MJ generation, but honestly, his success, his perseverance, the way he's conducted himself has always been super inspirational. Probably the most inspirational guy.
and that's
there.
kind of what the book's all about, is how he achieved so much in such a short time, really, if you look back at it, and what motivated him and whatnot. So yeah, it's definitely a good one.
Give that a read for sure.
Listen.
I'll give it a
Don't
listen.
try
I'll do
to
a book.
ca-
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
Right.
I'm a big audiobook guy too.
You hop in the DeLorean, you can go back in time. What point in time would you go back into, and what would you tell yourself?
Oh shit. Oh man. I wouldn't change a damn thing.
Do the same shit.
Do the same shit. I mean,
like
there's
that.
a lot of things that I've done that I could have done differently, but man, I tell you what, I've learned a lot of lessons by doing them that way.
You've all obviously watched Back to the Future and know that you can't alter the history because it's going to change things. Just don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
I like that answer a lot.
Yeah.
I always learned a lot more from my mistakes
100%. I agree.
and learn not to do it moving forward. And
Yep.
you get burned, you learn from that, and you don't ever do that again, or you figure out how you did it, or you figure out what you did wrong, change it moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like Jeremy was talking about the sheet metal stuff. I mean, all the mistakes are what make you who you are today and
Yep.
make you learn. Same thing. It don't matter if it's sheet metal or business, you know, you screw up. I'm sure you guys have screwed up some business deals, and I certainly have. And, you know, as bad as they are or were, it's something that I learned and things that I've learned to move forward and not do again.
It's a great answer to say on business wise. I agree with you. Like pre 20 years old, I'd like to teach myself a few things. I'd go back and say, do this, this, and this.
That's for a different podcast.
Best car movie and why?
Hollywood Nights, for sure. And I don't know, my reasoning is probably maybe different than some people's, and it's mainly because
That's
that's
Fran Dresser's tits, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
I was gonna say there's no S10 in there. What is it?
Did you hear what I said earlier? Anything like what I really wanted was some sort of muscle car, but you know, the obtainable goal is this.
Hey, I was right
So-
there with you, buddy.
And that's the reason why. I mean, every part about that movie was cool. These guys hanging out at this diner, these badass cars, this car they called a rail job, which ends up being a tea bucket that I am blown away that I thought that was cool at the time. But man, they just
Have you ever
the way,
built one?
No.
We've talked
Jesse
about,
Greening's built one, that white one. That was a sharp car.
Oh, we've talked about that a bunch.
Sharp.
We've talked about the rail job. But
Yeah.
Hollywood Nights.
Yeah.
It was like you didn't know what it was. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're gonna see like a slingshot dragster. or
Exactly. Yep.
something. Yeah, but
Yep. And then it comes up
Bust
with
up.
tea bucket.
Yeah.
And I mean, like that movie inspired me. Like that kind of really got me interested in cars. And then like moving forward, it's like you find out that that's the Project X car, and it's like you look at it today, and it's like, whatever. So
That's a great movie, man. I love that movie. You wanted to be there.
yes, yep.
First, well, you already talked about the first car, so we're not even going to do that. Best SEMA story.
Oh man. I'll say best SEMA experience, and it's something that needs to come back for sure, 100%, because it was probably the highlight of my SEMA that year, and probably the highlight of all my SEMAs is the I don't even remember what casino it was at, but I think it was like on a Thursday night, little private club, private event party that was off the chain, a great time. And I can't remember who the shop was that put it on, but man, it was a hell of a good time. And it was kind of disappointing, to be honest, that it didn't happen last year.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Last year was just it was a questionable year, man.
it was. I'll give you that. But yeah,
COVID,
no, I would
supply
say
chain,
that night of that party, 2019. Yeah, it was 2019, I think. Was that the last time you guys did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a blast, man. We debuted that Camaro out there, Goomer's Camaro, the blue car with the removable hardtop, and I think we had the whole shop crew out there, and you know, we got a big ass Hummer limo to take us there, and it was just a good time. Yeah, that would be.
You never told us you
highlight of the
drove
season.
them to the party.
Was that you in the front?
I'm gonna laugh at you because that's pretty funny.
That's awesome, man.
We have to live vicariously through you telling us those stories, because honestly, it was, one, so much work putting it on. Number two, we got drunk real quick at it, so I don't remember a lot about the party. So
Yeah.
it's good to hear those.
And we were
types of
nervous
stories.
as shit that we were going to be the only ones there.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, Jeremy kept. I mean,
kept
we got so
saying it,
nervous
man.
because after he explained to
I'm
me,
like,
it was
dude,
gonna be
I feel like this is gonna be like we're gonna be like the nerdy guys at the prom, you know. We're
it
just
says
sitting
like
there,
parents are
like-
out of town, we're throwing a house party, and nobody shows.
Because I mean, what was it? Was it the year before? Was that the first year you guys did it?
Yeah.
And it was it a different, smaller venue?
Yeah.
It was cool, but that next year was fucking awesome. And I'm sure that was not cheap, but man, you
It
guys.
was a fucking party. That was good.
We
ass
dined
time.
and dashed it, and it
Yeah.
didn't cost that
Yeah.
much.
We signed on the Ring Brothers room number and pieced.
Yeah, that you got to do that. You got to bring that back because that was.
If we think this year at SEMA is gonna be like happening? I mean, do you think? This
I don't know.
is-
You got to ask. You got to ask the fans. Tell them to let us know
Yeah.
if they're coming
and like,
to SEMA.
here's the
Dude,
thing. Like, what is it like? Was it invite only?
No, it was kind of
It
like
started at
it was
invite
kind of like
only.
a 50-50 thing. We had like an invite for you got the bracelets for just your cocktails were
VIP,
covered. Yeah, you get. But I believe we kind of opened it up to
It got.
the public.
Answer your question. Yes, it was invite only. However, very quickly throughout the first couple of days at SEMA, we realized that it was getting a little bit out of hand. About 45 minutes before the doors open, I popped
And there's
out
like
to
a
see.
huge fucking line out there.
We realized it had gotten real out of hand. And at that point, it was like, what do you do?
Yeah,
Fuck it.
it was a great time. So
It was. I still remember. That I was nervous prior to make sure we did a good job, and put it on right. And walking out there, it was close to an hour before the doors opened in the casino, and I was like, holy shit. At that point, really, I was like, let's just close the door and go home. Like, it would get scary. There was a lot of fucking people there.
Yeah,
There was
It
a
was
lot
cool,
of people
man.
there.
I mean, even the first year was badass. I'll say that it was cool to have my old man there for that year. That was his last hurrah.
It was a
And
banger.
that's a dude that liked to fucking party, So I think,
Yeah.
that was a great fucking experience to be
we
able to have
did our fair share of it.
kick ass fucking party. And we'll see what this year brings.
yeah,
It's a little surprise. We're gonna blow it up or not.
To be
I feel
continued.
like the Good Guys truck could be on stage and we could do like this 90s throwback theme.
Dude, you might see that sooner than SEMA.
There we go.
You might see something with that truck that's
Got some cool stuff in the works.
quite the party, if you will say. So keep your eye out. There's gonna be some pretty cool shit dropping from a marketing standpoint that you can view in public or in private.
Have we
and
asked good guys?
enjoy
That's
it.
okay.
No,
Mm-mm.
and we won't.
Hey, ask for forgiveness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always easier to
Yeah.
ask for forgiveness. I don't know if that aligns
Yep.
with their marketing, but it aligns with ours. So
What do you see on the 80s stuff coming next?
Man, I don't know. It's coming. It's coming hot, I think. I didn't miss the beat. I wanted to do the third gen Camaro several times, and now it's too late. If you ain't done it already, it's too late, I think.
Third gen?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're just following the trend. I know rad rides
When's there been a badass one finished?
Yeah.
Finished, done.
to a high standard. I guess not. There hasn't been, but
Yeah,
Exactly.
But dude, like,
I feel like if you start now, somebody's already like Rad Rides has got one going to paint.
They've
dude,
been working
you
on it for 12 years.
Yeah, I know.
Dude,
They're
like-
just hitting it at the right time. Like you're just going to be following
When have
their
you
trend. It's
ever-
like trying to build a Survivor Series car
You
after
gonna-
you guys
Are you
did
gonna
it.
not build
It's
cars
cool.
after you see Rad Rides build them?
When have you-
No, that's not what I'm
when
saying.
have you ever like Rad Rides is they're like they're by them fucking selves.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter what
100%.
anybody else does.
It doesn't.
It's not going to compete with that.
GM
Yeah.
doesn't stop building cars because Tesla keeps
Right.
coming out with crazy shit.
I mean, you're right. Fuck Tesla. GM. I'm a GM guy. I know you're driving some piece of shit Ford parked out there,
it's my
but
first one ever.
Yeah, I think in the square body or the OBS truck proves it. I mean, those are the guys like the guys our age that are getting to the point where they've got some money to spend, and that's what they want. That's what was cool, and then they want to drive it. So, for me, it's a square body truck. That's what my dad had when I was a kid. So, when I can get to the point where I can buy something for myself, that's what I bought was a square body.
Yep.
And a Camaro, an IROC Camaro does a lot for me. The G body stuff, the Grand Nationals, the Monte Carlos. I want to do really bad if anybody's listening and wants to go down this avenue. I want to do a 2-door Malibu. I think that could be a bitchin' car too. Everybody always did those like, drag race,
They're always mean.
Yeah. And so I'd like to put, my spin on one of those. But I think, yeah, I mean, they're coming. They're coming hot.
When's the Cyclone, Typhoon, or Ranger Splash make?
Or, man, I've been
Ranger Splash.
I don't know about
Just slid that one in at the end. That was well done.
Me and Chris were just talking about the Ranger Splash the other day. It always comes up.
I don't know about any of the Ford stuff. I mean, that's, whatever. But like, I've been seeing some pretty fucking sweet, like square body S10s popping up that are, scratching my itch. But I don't know.
Did you hear? I mean, this is a few episodes back. Did you hear Jeremy's square body S10 story?
What?
That was a square body S10, wasn't it?
Lindsay's Blazer.
Blazer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did.
It's a
Yeah.
pretty
May not
good
have
one.
aired yet.
Maybe it hasn't. It's a pretty good one.
What?
Have to give a listen.
You can't,
Which?
you can't retell it.
Which one is it on? Which?
I don't remember. I was hoping you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I heard it. It was on this one." I just.
Oh
know
wait,
the
wait a
story
minute.
was
Did
told.
you jump the thing? Or
No,
something?
we were throwing
There was paint.
shit.
Oh yeah, I did
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so it was I thought for some reason I'm thinking when I heard that I was thinking like it's a
little
like
rowdy.
2002
Oh,
one.
90s
Yeah.
extreme.
I've got
Yeah,
stories
extreme
with-
Blazer. That's
I've got
exactly
stories-
what I
have
thought.
stories with every generation of Blazer, like good stories, dude.
Really?
Yeah,
Pay per view at the end of the year.
yeah. Some of them are.
Adult.
Yeah.
Some adult stories.
Is that where this is going? Pay per view at the end. That's brilliant. It's fucking
Hopefully,
brilliant.
Yeah. We're gonna retire.
To tell the things that me and Jeremy want to tell that Phil keeps kicking us under the table, we have to go to pay per view. But
Fair enough.
maybe it'll get there one day.
I'm thinking the cartoon animated version is still the way to go. You can't get in trouble for it. It's not really you. They might be made up stories. They might not.
That's true. South Park gets away with
Yeah,
some shit.
all kinds of
Beavis and
shit.
Butthead got away with some stuff.
It's probably the way to do it. And last but not least, everybody's favorite, pocket dump. What's in your pockets right now?
Oh man, are we going all pockets?
Every
Yeah, you
single
gotta
one
dump
of-
them
you
out.
got,
All right.
You got cargo.
You got one of
Dad
them.
wallets. Yeah, there it is.
Dude, the first guy with a dad wallet we've had. I love it.
I think that's thicker than yours.
That's a George Costanza
I'm telling
right
you,
there.
I can't do the clip. I got too much shit. Can't get rid of any of it. I got the truck
You gotta
keys.
hit our cam, Josh.
Yeah, I got the Milwaukee.
Oh, the
That's the
soft.
Because they
Fabricators.
last longer.
They're so much better. I got what you guys like is the old pocket knife. I got 3 of them things in that same style.
A little CRK too.
Yeah, a little durable thing. I use it for everything from a screwdriver to cutting boxes open. I got the Streamlight.
Those little bitty shorts carry a
yeah.
lot of things.
Man.
You got like a tent
Gotta-
in there too. That fucker's got some miles on it. And
I got the phone.
oh shit.
I got the
driving through Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago, you gotta have that. I don't know if it's legal here
Josh
or not.
is pointing
Yeah,
it
don't point
directly
it
at me.
It is loaded, so careful now.
Little G42.
Yeah, 380. And then I made a pit stop on the way here, and the guy told me, he said, you can't say on air who gave this to you, but he said, you got to have it for Jeremy. Jeremy will love this. And so I was told not to say his name on air, but I'll tell you after. And here's that.
Oh, dude, look at. I've got the full size version of that.
He thought you might like the little version.
He
Let's
likes
see
the
that
little
we got.
one.
Oh, there it is.
I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up.
Absolutely baffled as to
Who-
3D printing. It's one thing.
That is a lot of shit in my pocket.
Yeah, that's an insane amount of shit.
Yeah.
That's a ton of shit.
You seriously don't have cargos on?
No, and that's
That's
a
just-
daily for me. Other than
Damn.
I don't carry my gun unless I'm coming to the hood. So
I can tell, dude. Look,
so-
here's this is an indicator too that this shit's regularly in his pockets because this
Yeah, the
keys are
that is
beat to
fucking
shit.
wrecked.
buttons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely thrashed. But look at that.
Is that a Penosaurus
Look at
Rex?
that little guy. Should we get the big one then? So we can see the detail.
Desk pop.
Yeah, yes.
You want that or something?
Oh, so like,
You've got one, right?
no, this is the 380. So I got the 43X. This is the 42.
Desk pop.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm either that or I got a Sig Sauer 382 that I like to carry.
Good grief, this stuff. You seriously, you have,
Dude, I'm impressed.
you win the
All right,
competition
let's
on
check
most
things.
stuff.
Hey,
Yeah.
anybody got a caliper on them? Should we check it?
Yeah, leave that wallet
Those
out.
suckers, dude. You've got some,
Hey,
and you could tell too. That's
And
not staged.
and I just
Staged.
purged that thing
Yeah,
last night with some receipts and some
that thing is weathered.
Yeah.
man.
how many hotel room keys are in there?
no hotel
None?
keys. I just got rid
That
of
is-
2 of them last night.
How many Good Guys season passes?
That's
There's definitely one of those in there.
That's neck and neck, man.
And then you, if you live in Illinois and you got a gun, you got to have like 3 different cards to carry at all times.
You got your concealed.
yeah.
I think we got a winner. Yep, undefeated.
Oh,
I used to have a weekly subscription to a chiropractor too.
I was going to say, let's see whose spine's got the biggest curve to it.
Honestly, I think Jeremy's got you by 32nd.
Does he?
That's an eighth. That's a solid eighth inch.
That's
Wait, you measuring off the small side or the big side?
Uh-oh. Oh, he does have a fatter side.
It does.
What
There we
goes in the
go.
wallet to offset it?
I don't know. Shape of my ass apparently.
You're about a half degree down there, Josh.
Yeah.
He still has you.
Yeah.
Good grief.
I can't
You do have fat wallets.
I can't get rid of it. I just can't do the whole I like to carry cash and you can't
See, I
carry
have no cash in here.
What?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
0 cash in this wallet. Not a fucking dollar bill. It's just a mess of crap.
Well, right now is the time when we usually say thanks again to our guests, Troy, but he's going to hang around for the whole deal because he's here to stay. So next up, it's time for the glove box. All right, it's time for the glove box where we tell you about some of our cool new gear, guns, EDC shit, whiskey, and other stuff that we're into. This segment of the glove box is brought to you by Blade HQ. Whether you're into cars, motorcycles, hunting, fishing, grilling, or any number of things, you've got the tools that you swear by. Have you ever noticed that the tool that finds its way into every job is a knife? I know it does you because I just saw it in your pocket. Another CRKT. Do you have the knife that you swear by? If not, it's time you got yourself one. And Blade HQ is the place to get it. They've got the knives to fit any hand, any belt, any job, and any budget. Just go to bladehq.com/oil and whiskey to shop their selection of knives. All right, guys, you've already done a pocket dump, and then, good God, you got enough for everybody.
Honestly, God, you fucking brought it. That's probably the number one pocket
Right.
dump that we've seen.
All right, who's up next? Phil, you started this week.
Nothing special. Rocking my old
PG
Benchmade. Brought it back
PGS.
out.
There it is. Modded out.
Been rocking the Civivis for couple months now. Went back to that guy. I realized how much I use it for shit I probably shouldn't be. I tried to cut open several things. And I could barely puncture a bag of popcorn with it. So
With what?
with that, trying to cut it open.
Oh, you need to get this to Tim Farrow then. He'll sharpen, put an edge right on it.
Yep.
Tim, if you're listening to this, go to Phil's office and get his knife so he can put an edge on it.
I am going to go ahead and put you in charge of making that happen.
Next up.
That's all I got. Yeah, standard wallet, cell phone. That's it.
Cool.
I brought all my cool shit last week.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got no. I'm not hanging with Troy today. I just got this little guy, which is a neat little piece.
Little Shea Butler.
Yep, little Shea Butler. Flip that sucker over. It has my name engraved right on it. Special little treat from a great customer, James Shearer. Handmade. Awesome knife. Got the cool distressed American flag on it.
Check that out.
It's a very neat little handcrafted unit there.
This is way above my pay grade right here.
It's above mine too, but when it's
was
gifted,
free.
it is free, my friend. Yeah.
Freebie, zip, zero, nada.
All right.
But that's all. Yeah, man. Other than that,
You
the
think
usual.
you think that gift from James is something?
You did
Have
not
we
get
got-
a pallet of
My
wieners.
gift-
Have
my
we got?
gift was
Have we got
way
the
better.
pictures on that? We can't talk about it unless we're going to roll out the pictures.
There
Yeah,
are
they got
pictures.
put on. I sent them
Pictures got put
to.
on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 2,900 plus cans
Let's just call
Of
it 3,000.
Vienna sausages.
There's a
Ooh.
pallet full of them.
A pallet, entire pallet,
I got a picture here.
It sounds like
installed-
you can.
installed in my office.
Oh,
Everywhere in his office.
you have an office?
He does.
It's a small. I mean, it's a small.
It's a
office.
tent.
Yeah.
It's an easy up.
So Josh and
I figured you were a cubicle guy.
Yeah, he's got a full office. Josh and I have consumed maybe a dozen
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
but-
great
but-
afternoon snack.
between the two of us, but
I ate
we are
one.
going to use the rest of those to give back to the community,
We are.
aren't we?
They are being donated.
So this is
all of them.
Josh's
Every single
office that
one
he
of
came back to after being on vacation.
That's a lot of sausages.
You can flip through a couple of them.
Flip left, don't flip right.
I don't think there's.
Who spent the time to strategically stack all that?
That's what I'd like to know.
That was Dave Egan.
Thank you, Dave.
It's impressive, Dave.
He even went so far as to lay that out on the floor.
Hey, there are places I don't think you know where they're at because when I went up there to grab that bottle of booze that I had sitting in your office,
Yeah, I saw those
you
two after you
lift it out, and right there underneath it in the box, 2 more little Vienna sausages.
20
I
years
ate
from
'em.
now, when this building is tore down, they're gonna be finding
Yeah.
Vienna sausages.
They'll still be edible at that point, too.
It's a great snack.
What do you got, Josh? You're the master of all carries.
Well, tonight we are rocking back to the Boker auto. We're doing this this move to the additional facility, and it's been having to do some serious fucking work. So I brought the work knife. So rocking that today.
That's a great color on that blade.
Yeah, I like the green and gold.
I don't know about the green, but I like the gold.
We're rocking the same Ridge wallet. I'm a believer now. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but
It still doesn't look comfortable.
And for a
What you
little
got, dude?
something extra. This is
Is it a fanny pack?
it's kind of
Hey,
like
let's-
a fanny pack.
And let's clear this out.
yeah.
Make some room.
This is my
Make a little room for all these cool things.
I like to have my things organized.
Of course you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
So
organize your
How,
things, dude.
can you stand up and tell me how you carry that?
no,
right,
this
there,
is
right there in the front.
No.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, he doesn't even offset it. Not like, when you're
Okay.
trying to be cool,
Yeah.
you kick
This
it
is-
off to the side.
this is vehicle.
Purely-
This is vehicle carry.
Okay.
Vehicle
It's
carry
also,
only.
he's got a crossbody strap so he can wear it.
That is
like a
front
purse.
and center.
So this is my this goes in either my get home backpack or it goes under the seat. This is always with me in my vehicle wise. This is just got all the things that you're gonna need.
It's your bug out bag.
That's exactly it. It's a bug out bag.
You a prepper?
Somebody has gotten into this bag prior. So
Let's see what we've got.
Whoa.
What do you got in your bug out bag, man?
we have. I fucking hate you. You never know when you're going to be out without a keychain. So I've got
Gotta
my
have a keychain.
Karen bedazzled keychain. In case my first or second or third weapon goes down, I've got the rubber band shooter.
That's a solid
Yeah.
piece. Yeah.
That's going to come in handy. I've got, because you know how I like to do it. I got my Swisher Sweets.
What flavor?
That'd be great.
Those are purple.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
how
Goes with
grape,
his
they're
drink.
purple.
That somebody slid
Purple
a
drink.
little chapstick in. You never know when you're going to be out in the wilderness or trapped or.
I think Bear
stranded.
Grylls actually used that to start a fire at one point. You can light it.
Gotta have the chaps.
So it's got that. It's got my knife. It's got electrical tape, a couple Sharpies. It's got a lens pen, just for cleaning off your optics or your scope. We have
Obviously some
Kick-ass.
super cool.
Sweet
shades.
Ray-Ban shades.
Kick-ass set of shades for keeping the sun out of your eyes. You got duct tape, fishing line, paracord. Your standard survival things. I just can't wait to see. Nothing else in this. Yeah, we do. That's you never know when you're going to be out with a lady friend and need
some tactical tampons.
some tactical tampons.
And those, hey, just so you know, those are super flow. Those
Why-
are not the regulars.
Why don't you guys go ahead and take it from here?
No,
What
you
else
go
is
ahead.
there?
Keep a little bit more.
Hey, this is a surprise to me. Look at this. Another set of Burt's Bees. This is the good shit. So you keep the good shit in
Yeah.
there.
You never know where you're going to be without your Bennigan's frequent diner card. Gotta have that.
A little lens cloth for my.
That's an
high end.
Oakley. You use that in dire need. Everyone knows what you use an Oakley bag for.
Well,
cock flavored soup mix.
so just so you know, Josh,
This is a daily carry for you, isn't it?
Josh here presented us with this his bug out bag about 30 minutes before you showed up, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this? Like, are you serious? So I'm like, go down to Phil's office and I'm like, fill this bag up with all sorts of shit. These are the things we could acquire within 30 minutes before you came here.
This is Screw My Wife. Fearless Babes Bounded. That's
That's a DVD.
Do you have the player to go with that? Or
no, I don't even have a case. It's gonna get scratched up.
For the young listeners, that plays videos.
Yeah,
Like a CD
DVDs,
player.
just kind of like a video. And the rest of the stuff is really not as exciting now that we've got.
I think there's
all the
more
other
good stuff
additions.
in there.
Yeah, we've got
Keep
a
digging.
flashlight, we've got a Gerber multi-tool, we've got a lighter,
Where's your
life straw.
souvenir Florida Georgia Line concert ticket at?
You don't keep that in a data. Yes, that's in a shadow
Oh,
box
that's
at home.
okay. Yeah. That's framed.
You got a multi-tool. You got batteries. You got matches, and you've got another little. Oh wait, we got more things in here. Oh, not black ice.
Oh,
Is it black ice?
You're damn right, dude. You
You
never
can
know.
never be without black ice.
You never know when you're gonna have to be smelling good.
I don't want
Yep.
to be out in the wilderness and that truck starts smelling a little stale.
Gotta
crack
have
open a new black ice.
felony forest on you at
So-
all times.
You guys are fucking
Dude,
awesome.
Hey, I hate to ruin your whole display here because you did bring some cool stuff. And I like this.
It was
I
just
actually-
too good not to
I
take advantage of
legitimately
it.
Hey,
like
I
this, but
Wouldn't
Josh
expect anything.
presented us with the opportunity to just, shame him. But take a look at
This
that.
is
because
a
that's cool.
great little. This was a challenge that I made to myself about a year ago. I $100 on Amazon. See if you can build all of the essential things that you need for your truck. So I spent about $120 and I got all the things, but it's a great little bit driver set. It's in there. You would be surprised at how many times I've had this little pouch and it's got me out of trouble.
I bet.
You need to grab some things. It's in the truck. It's always in the truck.
It actually, honest to God, it actually was pretty impressive before me and Phil filled it full of bullshit because it is pretty cool.
Hey,
Like, it's got a lot of nice things in there.
During all the riots and bullshit, I attempted to do something similar. I bought the backpack and then went through my house and found shit that I thought I might need. And there's duct tape and zip ties in there, and that's the extent of it right now.
What were you gonna do with those things?
You can fix most things with duct tape. and
duct tape and
ties.
zip ties will fix most things. Oh, there is chem lights in there as well for the thing. It's probably will never need it, but it's better to have
know
it
what I
and
think-
not need it than need it and not have it.
That's always been my theory with like the road tours. If you bring it, you will
won't need
not
it.
need
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
If you don't
We
bring
bring
it,
tires,
Yes.
starters, another engine, all that. You
Oh, yeah.
never have a problem.
We brought a radiator, fan, and alternator.
The only thing you're missing in that deal is some Flex Seal. I would recommend
Yeah.
putting
Or
like a
what about
small
the-
tube of Flex Seal.
yeah, the shit to make your boat float. Is that Flex
Flex
Seal?
Seal.
Okay,
Flex
yeah,
Seal.
definitely.
Yeah, that's Phil Swift.
yeah.
Yeah, you get a lot. You take on a lot of damage, and Flex Seal will fix it, my friend.
The fact that you knew his name. Well, I hope that was enjoyable for everybody else because it was not for me. So this
You've
next
got
up,
so much new good shit in your bag
I do.
now.
I've got great. Dude, tampons?
Did I apologize?
Laugh.
I
But tampons, that'll get me out of emergency.
honestly, I apologize for that because I feel like
No, you don't. No, you're not. This is everything that you're about to say.
it's a lie.
Yeah, is 100% lie. Because you still feel good about yourself because you thought it was funny.
yeah.
All right. So don't make up bullshit
Yeah.
and say you're.
Yeah,
This is an apology to if it wasn't done to you.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
All right. What are we drinking? We've got just a little bit more to go. We still have a few more minutes to go, but Jeremy, what are we drinking?
Yeah, and I feel like I'm the go-to guy for what are we drinking every single one of these.
Yeah, just embrace it.
All right,
Let's
it
not
is
get a big
a
head about it.
Waddy Boone and Sons, Kentucky First Masters Distiller, small batch American whiskey. That's a 8-year-old bourbon. Looked enticing on the shelf is all I can say.
Cool bottle.
Yeah, I knew nothing about it, but great bottle shape, great logo, had a little age statement on it. So anytime you throw something on there that's 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, it makes you want to grab a hold of it. Snagged that at Garfield's beverage.
Emporium.
Yeah.
Garfield's liquor store.
Yeah,
Fucking, if you're in
snagged that
there,
at Garfield's.
You're going to know where it's Garfield.
94 proof, drinks very much like a 94 proof. Super smooth, zero burn at all.
What'd you think of it?
Man, I gotta go last. I'm a rookie here.
No, I'm not asking you to give a review.
Oh.
Just say,
Okay.
what'd you think?
Yeah, the
Ah.
rookie review would be good.
No, I feel like I'm not even gonna say what I want to say, but I mean I liked it.
How
I wanna-
much whiskey have you drank?
Not a lot. I've had a little bit of some friends that are pretty avid whiskey drinkers and whiskey clubs, but not a lot. I mean, I would like my go-to at the bar when I was drinking whiskey was just like a Crown and Coke, but
I'm with
For
you, man.
We
for something
we all
that's
started somewhere.
straight, like I thought it was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But I don't know what
No,
real good is
dude,
or
this is-
or shit is.
This is a no judgment zone.
You
Yeah.
know
We
what
don't-
shit is.
we
You
don't
couldn't
know what
drink
we're
it.
talking
I'm like
about
I'm
either.
like a Riddler judge. I really don't know
Well-
what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like I either like it,
And
it's either
full
it either
circle.
fucking wins or it doesn't. And
It-
it's pretty good to me. It could be shit to you guys.
Couldn't have said it better, man. Could not have said it better. As a rookie review, though, that's great because if you can sit there and drink it neat,
Yeah.
and refill it, that just means it's good.
Yep.
And I'd agree with that. The only thing that's kind of a red flag is that right here on the front label it says that this bottle is to be savored and or served over ice, which is a little funky. You
Nobody
don't see that.
Says to do ice.
Yeah, you don't see that often. I've come to think of it, I've
Never
never
seen it.
I don't know why
seen
you
that.
would need ice at this proof level because there was no burn whatsoever for me.
but very drinkable. I think it's one of those that if it's snag it, throw it on the shelf, pour that with a group of people.
Yeah.
You can drink it all night without even thinking about it. Goes down smooth. I liked it. It was
Like a
good.
good upper middle of the road
Yeah.
bourbon.
Good. Doesn't have any like flavor profiles that jump out at you. Nothing that will be like overly memorable.
I'm gonna go 6.5. I liked it.
So you're just fucking dropping reviews like that, huh?
Just did just like that.
6.25 for me.
6.5. Sounds good.
All right.
I mean, I guess I got to follow suit. I have no clue
Yeah,
what I'm
he
doing.
doesn't know the scale of the review,
yeah,
dude.
I mean,
Hey,
it's just
first of
I
all,
gave you my
you said-
analysis of
his
the
review.
you sat down here and drank 3 fucking
Right.
glasses of it.
His
That's all
review.
I mean, I
needed.
liked it.
That's all I
could-
needed to
The
hear.
way he described it could quite possibly be the best review in the history of bourbon.
Yeah, I
or
liked it.
any review for
Yeah.
that matter.
You're right. Before we close, we've got 2 things. 1, we've got listener questions. 2, we've got Troy staying on for listener questions.
I like
It's
that.
gonna be fun.
It's kind of 1A, 1B, right?
We can diversify a little bit.
But everybody that's listening right now, if you want us to answer your listener questions, you got to send them to us. So,
And if you're still listening, we appreciate the perseverance.
nobody's really listening.
No.
There's there's Stuart, that one dude. That's,
Hey, Mom.
yeah. Send them to us on Instagram at Roadster Shop or at Oil and Whiskey Podcast. And if it's a good enough question, we might just use it. All right. First up, can you settle a debate for me? Is it better to paint or is it better to powder coat a chassis? Anybody go?
Most of the time, I'm going to go powder coat, unless you're doing a high-end indoor show car like Troy builds here, and you're going for the Riddler.
Yeah. No, that's yeah.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with
There's-
the individual shop as well. I mean, sometimes powder coating is not as accessible or easy to some as it is to us or other shops and stuff. And sometimes you got a paint shop right there. It's just as simple to get it, blast it, paint it right there in house. But
That's it.
if you can find a local powder coat guy to do it and handle this stuff, it's more beneficial to powder coat it if it's feasible for you.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I'd say that generally speaking, for 90% of the cars that you're going to build, powder coat it. It's way more durable when it comes time to putting a shock bolt in, a 4-bar bolt in. You're going to have a hell of a lot more durability, just more durability throughout the entire chassis. If you're doing something that's like a high boy, a 32 Ford, something like that, 33 Ford, there's no way you're powder coating that. If you're doing something like that and you want it to be slicked out, you want it to look right, you're body working the whole chassis and you're making it look legit. But with that being said, who's the dude that's doing that specific? Help me
It does
out
all
here.
Kindig stuff.
Oh, Pacific Coast powder
Yeah,
coating.
Pacific
Pacific
Coast.
Coast powder coating keeps popping up, and man,
There's your on the gas guy.
Yep.
yeah. But what
I
that
was just-
dude's doing, it's like, I mean,
I haven't seen anybody else do that.
yeah, I can't really fathom that because
God,
I
it's
don't
got to be so much
know
work.
a heck of a lot about it. But he is like slicking out,
Just
smoothing every weld, everything. It looks like you dipped it in just like
Liquid.
liquid. Yeah, it looks super badass. So I think that could be a potential option. But you're powder coating them if you're driving them. You're powder coating them if you're doing a high end muscle car. But if you're doing a high boy, you're probably slicking it out and painting it.
The good
buffing
thing
and
is
buffing it.
for 80 to 90% of the chassis and the builds that are going on, you can get them powder coated from us. And besides just a little bit of additional wait time, because it is an outsourced deal, it comes to you fully powder coated, fully assembled, ready to go. Now, obviously, it's perimeter chassis and some other builds. It's just not feasible to do that. Get them raw and then do it yourself.
I'll
do you
add
think?
to that.
Add to it.
I'd say we powder coat probably 90% of them. If we weld them into the car, like the Firebird or the Charger, obviously it's getting painted. But make sure your powder coater is good and blast the shit before they powder coat it.
Yep.
But in your aspect of, like, a lot of guys might look at it and say, hey, they want $3,000 or whatever you guys charge to powder coat a chassis, and they think, well, I can have my local guy do it for $1,500. Well, you got to disassemble it, take it all apart, and put it all back together after it's powder coated. And if you're gonna get done for $1,500, is your time worth it? So probably most likely just have the boys at the roaster shop go ahead and powder coat it and assemble it. It's ready to go when you get it.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
2 high fives, 1 episode.
It's a shame we just hired another sales guy because
Just letting you know.
I got a
Maybe the
backup
number one
plan. You know what I'm
spot.
saying?
All right. On your recent Mustang build, have you guys done a before and after weight comparison? I know this has to add significant weight as you're legitimately adding an entire frame on top of the full unibody structure. But I figured the suspension components probably save some of the chassis gain back. Just curious where it lands. This is a question we get.
We get it a lot.
Yeah.
We've never done the exact car before and after because you're never putting all the same shit back in after you put a chassis underneath it. So even if you were to do it 100% apples to apples, you're changing the motor, you're adding 100 pounds of boom mat, sound deadening, big stainless gas tank. There's a lot of other stuff, a much more elaborate interior.
I don't want to answer this in a dickhead way. But the best way I can say it is, at the end of the day, with the car that you're building, it generally doesn't matter what it's going to weigh at the end.
Yeah.
You just built a car that went close to 200 miles an hour. You were building it for 200 miles. Did you weigh that Firebird before you started and weigh it after?
No, but I know that sumbitch is heavy. But I can tell you one thing about heavy cars: they ride a hell of a lot better.
Yep.
So if you're looking for lightweight, you better be racing that sumbitch, because if it's heavy, it's gonna ride good.
Yep.
You know weights offhand of what
do.
Mustangs done are?
3,000 pounds for a factory OEM 1968 to like 65 to 68 Mustang. If you're getting it with a V8, 33 to 3,600 pounds on a roadster shop build, depending on what's in it. So like George's car, for example, 68, pretty well loaded up, LS motor, whether you want to hear it or not, AC, stereo, interior, loaded up with boom mat, all the creature comforts, 3,400 and some change. So you compare that to 3,000 pounds for what it came off the showroom floor as, and I mean, there's really no comparison. I mean, you take that car, throw a bunch of boom mat in it, sound deaden it, throw a stereo in it, throw air conditioning in it, and it's almost apples to apples. But just like Troy said, and you said, like, why is anybody concerned with the weight in this day and age with the horsepower you can make and the ride quality improvement that weight brings? It's easier to dampen a heavier car. The longer wheelbase, heavier cars ride a significantly amount better than any of those lightweight little race cars. But the simple answer is that realistically, if you were to pull the creature comforts out, they're almost apples to apples. You might have a 200-pound difference.
You know
on
what
a
the good thing
roadster
about
shop
those
chassis.
Mustangs, though, the weight, we put the LSs in them so it can overcome the weight. If we were to put a Ford motor in it, might be worried
it's
about that 400
Coming
pounds.
from a guy that drives a Ford truck. Just saying.
So,
He's
Just saying.
Yeah, he's bisexual though, so it's like
Makes sense. I mean, he did bring a fanny pack in here.
it's such a horrible tie-in. How does that work?
well, he just backed it up with the fanny pack, dude.
Oh,
You didn't deny
I get it.
either.
yeah, you're right. Sorry. All right, next up. What motor is the motor that was used on Amadeo Angelo's 1940 Suburban? And what and how did you build that intake cover? It's super sweet.
K24 Honda,
Hey.
baby.
Trick question. We didn't build that.
No, we didn't.
Did not. We built the chassis for that.
Yep.
Is that Roseville rods?
It was Roseville.
Built the truck. Badass build. We looked at it out at the Roadster show.
It was fucking amazing.
That Suburban.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Oh yeah.
that thing.
Fit and finish on
sick.
that thing is
I saw
nuts.
it. I saw that at Scottsdale. I was in Scottsdale in March or whatever, their early show, and walked right by it. I was at last year. We went through their shop on the Barrett Jackson Road Tour and saw that thing being assembled and didn't think much of it. And then we were at Scottsdale and I walked right by it. And then when I was walking back by it, something caught my eye and I started looking at it. I was like, holy shit, this thing is fucking
yeah, it's nuts.
badass. And it's so
Looks
understated.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insane.
It has a flannel, plaid lined glove box, which is sick. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen the glove
That's
box.
like a little detail that,
a little nicer.
yeah, if you see it come out of a roadster shop build in the future, I promise I didn't steal it from there.
I think what caught my eye, I was looking in the door, and on the door panel, it's got this little, I don't know if it's a cup holder or map pocket or something, and there's like a vintage, what year is it, 49?
It's mid 40s.
Yeah, there's a
mid-late 40s.
map from that same year of what year that truck is in like perfect condition sitting in the door. I was like, that's cool. And I started looking at it. I was like, wow, this thing is fucking incredible.
Dude, those dudes had the vision for it, and you could tell there was a tremendous amount of just passion involved in that project. That thing is fucking awesome. And when you look at the motor, I mean, I think I could answer a portion of that question, although we didn't do it. But you look at the manifold, there's clearly a perfect mix of machine parts fabricated parts. It's the manifold itself has got to be like it's a 2-part bolt together machine piece, and then it's got some sort of
There's a
I'm not
crazy
gonna,
carb setup. It was like 3 carbs that were like
yeah.
around or something,
I
wasn't
don't
it?
want to call them Strombergs because you can't really tell, but they don't.
Hey, reach out to at Roseville
Check
Rod
them
and
out, dude.
Custom.
But the air cleaner assemblies are fabricated. It's just a absolute flawless perfection build. Right
The
there.
way I was going to answer the question is explain to everybody that unfortunately we get asked about a lot of vehicles that we post on social media that we didn't build, that we see that our great customers are utilizing Roadster Shop chassis in their builds, and we want to reshare. We want to say, hey, check out this awesome build, check out this awesome shop, check out this. Unfortunately, in the day and age that we live in, people are looking at pictures and they don't read a lot. So it's just like, fucking badass, you guys killed it. Well, no, we didn't build it. Like, we're trying to show that this other shop built it. We're
It's in the description.
Yeah. I think that we need to, I don't know if we need to change that format and maybe put a border around or do something that's like customer spotlight, we
Builder
didn't
showcase.
build, check it out, something like that. But it's great that people are seeing them, but just a few words, just read just a couple words. It takes no time to read a few words.
And go check out all the shops that we tag in there that are doing the builds, because they have a lot more pictures. Almost everybody nowadays is posting all the build history, so you can go back and answer a lot of the questions and just get inspired by all the cool shit they're doing and find somebody else cool to follow, because they're probably building a lot of other cool shit that you need to take a look at
There's
as well.
so much badass shit out there.
Dude, those guys, Roseville Rod Customs, years and years ago, captured my attention. I mean, this is probably 10, 12 years ago. They did a Mercury, and they like laser cut and fabbed the whole chassis, like cross members, everything is like one single laser cut piece. If you're following me?
Yeah, I am.
And it was wild. And I mean, very wild. I don't know whatever happened to the car, but the chassis itself is really cool. This dude's kicks some ass.
Well, check them out at Roseville Rod Custom and DM them on Instagram. They'll tell you all about Amadeo's, Angelo's 40 Suburban and how they built that intake cover. Where did you find the Weller 12 that you drank on a recent episode? That's an easy one. Same place all of our Weller 12 comes from, Garfield's.
That's right.
Garfield's Liquor Emporium.
I'll tell you what, you're not gonna.
That's Dazed and Confused reference, right?
Say it's,
Yeah,
not,
it is.
say it's not a great name.
He might need to rebrand the company. I don't.
It's
I'll
not.
tell
You've
you-
met Dave Garfield.
Have I?
Yeah, on the road tours before.
Dave's got the 55.
Turbo 55.
Oh,
liter.
okay.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what,
He owns a liquor store.
He's
huh?
our
Yep.
liquor
Man, I
supplier.
went
he
to
owns
the wrong
liquor
business.
stores. Awesome liquor stores, chain of them throughout the
Chicago
Midwest,
land
yeah,
area.
yeah. And what you're not going to find though, when you talk about Weller 12, is that little gem that's been
Oh, that a little gem. Is that a
Hiding
little
over
gem?
there.
That's a big boy gym.
Bring that guy out.
yeah.
There was a lot of guys eyeing that in Columbus.
Look at that.
That's a big boy.
That is.
As a rookie, how does that stack up against what we had?
That would be like finding a 32 Ford 3-window Survivor sitting in a shed.
We'll have a little
Yeah.
bit after the show.
Okay.
We'll have you have a
All right.
little sip.
All right.
That's
It's
but
one thing to find it in like a 750 mil bottle.
I told you guys I'm a Riddler judge, so that
Yeah.
to me they're kind of one and the same.
I feel
That's-
this is a major
fair.
flex is what you're doing. But we are fortunate to have a really good relationship with Dave Garfield, and he supplies us with several of our staples, Weller 12 being one of them. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, if you're not in the Chicagoland area, make a trip on up. Chicago's a great city, but most importantly, come see Garfield's Liquor Emporium.
It is not the fucking Emporium.
It's
dude.
Garfield. First of all, if you search
It's
Garfield
going to be
Liquor,
now.
you're
Google
gonna
it.
find it. You're gonna find it.
Google
You'll
it.
never get to the point to where you got to
Hey,
put Emporium
Nobody can
in.
spell Emporium.
Hey, Google
It's
it.
like Grudgel.
It's a
You
silent.
gotta you gotta roll the R if
Dude,
you're gonna
it's
throw it in
like
there,
The
man.
R is silent.
Yeah. Or you guys gotta be rolled.
Garfield.
It's Garfield's Beverage Warehouse.
Yeah.
Emporium. All right.
And such.
Next up, What's your favorite backyard summer drink / cocktail? You gotta do something with this. It's too big. All the way at the end.
There you go. Don't drop
I'm
it,
going to
though.
answer that one. Favorite backyard summer drink /
High
cocktail
noon.
is what you two drink. It's also the winner of the Roadster Shop Stillhouse Challenge.
Currently.
It's not, because this
It
Roadster
is.
Shop Stillhouse Challenge has not been finished.
Okay, somebody can't get his shit together.
I think that's because he's afraid.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're scared, say you're scared.
Just bow out.
Does this look like
You
Dude, we've been going on this is seriously like 6 fucking weeks.
sprain
and you
your
haven't brought
wrist. You can't
cocktail
pour
in.
your drink.
Dude, I don't have time. Like, do you realize the kind of time it takes to think, like, the imagination to sit down, to do the research, to take lemonade and mix it with bourbon
The loser said what?
and sit down and pour the two together? Like, literally, take lemonade, pour it in a glass, and then pour bourbon in it. Like, dude, that's a fucking.
Isn't that agave?
I mean, that's monumental. All right. That's going to go down in history. Like, that's going to be right next to the old fashioned and the Manhattan. It's going to be bourbon with lemonade.
That's
yeah,
So-
let's build a buck and then we'll figure out all this other shit and build dies to build the tool, to build the part, to shape the and never finish
yeah,
it.
and
It's
end
the
up
other
with,
option.
you know, and you'll end up with a Ferrari Daytona. That's fine.
Yeah,
I
no
think
problem.
you said Mondial wrong. Mondial?
They didn't
Mondale?
build that with a fucking buck.
So Phil's favorite is the
I'm going
the
bourbon,
winner.
lemonade, agave. Mine, not really a cocktail. I brought that up. It's more of a pour all that shit in a Yeti and
shake it
on
up.
the boat
Gotta-
at the pool.
Got to add the little
Yep.
rosemary though.
You do.
What's yours favorite?
You could just say ditto.
No, I've been, for me, the summer drink is the Kentucky Mules. That's what I get after. It's simple drink. Grab some ginger beer, grab some bourbon it doesn't even have to be that great. Like, grab a Basil Hayden, something that you can just snag at any liquor store. Mix it together. If you got some mint on hand, throw the mint in there and you got yourself something. Slice up some limes, squeeze them in there. Bam. You got a good summer cocktail.
I agree.
I like those.
I up until recently, I'll be honest with you, dude, I didn't have a favorite summer cocktail. Phil's house, do Phil's drink. Your house, whatever you're fucking making, it's always been good. My house, whatever is around. A fucking beer, I'll make a cocktail, I'll make whatever. I'm just not I don't get into like a groove of like, it's summertime, I'm gonna drink these. But when we were turned on to a future episode, we had a guest from north of Bourbon. That drink that he put us onto is a great one. So
Pretty
I'm not going
solid.
to tell you what it is. You got to stay tuned here in a few weeks.
Cliffhanger.
Yep, for that episode. That's a great summer cocktail. Got a great mouthfeel. Everything about it's great. Troy, what's your
Well,
go-to summer cocktail?
I mean, I'm not a huge like bourbon drinker, especially in the summer. So it depends. If I'm making it, then it's not going to be a mixed drink because it's going to be a beer or something like that. But if someone else is making it, I'm going to go with like some sort of like cucumber mint gin. drink.
Cucumber mint gin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
It's-
sort of refreshing.
The gin is a new thing to me.
yeah,
I
get
haven't
some
fucked with any
Hendrix.
gin.
Get
It's a
some
new-
Hendrix gin.
Dude, it's a new thing to you, but it is the oldest thing in the cocktail books. You know, gin is pretty much what all your classic cocktails.
No, it's just
Derived
it's
from.
it's. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just new.
Yeah.
New to me. I haven't been a gin guy. That's something I have to try out.
Yeah.
Look at Troy bringing the heat with the information.
Nice little refresher.
Next up, it was killer having Chevelle on. What are each of your all-time favorite bands? I am so much looking forward to this.
Is Florida
We
Georgia
know
Line
who
coming out
yours
with a
is.
new album?
Bring it. Let's get it. Let's get it out of everybody's system right now.
It's tough, dude.
Okay.
That's
Phil, what's your all-time favorite band? It's a one person. It's not a band. He's white. He goes by one
yeah,
name.
Phil, I mean, we don't even like. Should I answer it for you?
You can.
It's fucking Eminem.
Yeah.
Dude, 100%.
Solid.
Is he wrong?
He's not wrong. I'm gonna go.
Hey, Phil, there is nothing wrong with
No,
it.
there
It's
is
good
nothing. There is-
motivational
Eminem-
music.
Eminem
Yeah.
fucking kicks a little ass.
I'm gonna go. Current favorite I've been rocking out a lot is Whiskey Myers. Actually dropping a new album here the next week or two.
Are they?
There's some teasers on Apple Music, but yeah, saw him in concert with Jamie Johnson.
Kick-ass fucking concert.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Kick-ass
I
fucking
was
concert.
there.
Yeah, we were all there. Yeah, no,
I remember.
Yeah, I just love it. Southern rock, little country. Just been a big fan lately. So that's what I'm listening to.
It's tough to hone in on one single answer to that because I'm a multi-genre kind of guy.
agree.
I look at
I
this
listen to.
question one way. All-time favorite. So
There's no all-time. You can't.
I know.
You cannot have an
the
all-time
way
favorite.
I have always looked at, I've been asked this question several times. If you had to give up every
There's no
single
way.
other artist, there's only one artist that you
Oh.
can listen to, whatever they've sent, whatever they've
You
sang.
know what he's
whatever
going to say.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying
No,
that's
I'm
the
gonna-
only way you can answer the question.
I'm gonna get-
All-time favorite?
Waylon Jennings.
I-
Did I ruin it for you? Did I steal
I'm
your
gonna give
thunder?
you- I'm going to give a broad answer to this. It's going to be multifaceted. If you're going to talk about like daily music stuff that I just fucking really
He
dig.
can't pick one. He's just
No,
gonna
I
try to
can't.
say all
Dance
of them.
around it, yeah.
No, I can't. I can't pick one.
That's the question.
I like.
If you had just one shot,
I
just
like,
one opportunity to pick one band that you could ever listen to in this moment, would you name it or would you just let it slip? Yes.
This is the point where the lights go on and it goes doo doo doo, and Phil flips up the hood. We're gonna get that. We're just gonna float.
His palms are sweaty.
I like a lot of rock. I
Mom's
like a lot of
spaghetti.
rock and roll stuff, and like current stuff. Houndmouth is probably one of my favorite rock and roll bands.
Sweet answer. Next, Troy, for you.
Yeah,
I gotta agree with
You
Jeremy. Is I
You're a
can't pick
fucking
one.
total
Like
dickhead.
You can only answer
If
one.
that's what you want it to be.
No.
That's what you want it
You
to
have
be.
to give away all music, and you pick one. That's the
You
question.
can't. It's not. It's not.
I got you.
Yep.
I follow you. I'm with him, but I will name one, and mine kind of blends a little bit of different genres, and it's I'd say it's Eric Church.
I like a little.
You can listen to a lot of Eric Church.
He's got a lot of good songs, and
He does.
and he kind of blends some classic rock with some country. So, he's not the best, but for our generation, for sure, like Eric Church, Jamie Johnson, Chris Stapleton,
Jamie Johnson.
it's all some
rocks.
good shit.
Jamie Johnson
Dude,
needs to come out with some new shit.
I will
Yeah,
say this.
I
though,
agree.
He just
and this is a fact. The best album of all times.
you're saying it.
Nirvana Unplugged. I don't think there's a better album in the history of music. That's a fact. For me,
My wife would tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
I, however, never got into that genre. Never did. And
it was
Nothing
it was
wrong with
after it was after your time.
it was not after my time. If I had to answer this the way that I think somebody's at, what are each of your all-time favorite bands?
This is gonna suck.
No, I'm gonna do exactly what you were trying to do. I'm gonna give like 4 or 5.
No, you're
different
not. I
bands.
gave one.
Yeah,
and
I
then
know,
you
but-
fucking cut me
I know
off.
I did that on
'Cause you're a
purpose.
dickhead.
Because
Florida Georgia Line. Thanks, guys. And that is another edition of
I'm very
Oil and Whiskey
I'm
with
very
the
old
Roadster
school.
Shop.
I'm very predictable. I'm if I probably with gun to my head, I might pick Hank Williams Jr. over Waylon Jennings. If I was to only listen to one artist for us, because there's just such a variety there. But Hank Williams Jr., Waylon Jennings, Alabama, CCR.
Stop it.
Those are
You're
all
just
my
you're
bands.
just
I know.
spewing
I'm
names.
doing the exact same thing
Yeah,
you tried to
which
do
you didn't allow me to.
for a reason.
Yeah.
So I could do it.
Right.
All right. Next
one
up,
song.
one song. Holy shit.
Ooh. OD'd in Denver by Hank Jr.
One song. Wow.
Or
Please come to Boston, David Allen Co.
Ooh, I'm gonna go nod to you on this one, the little Sweet Home Alabama.
Man, Dig a Pony by the Beatles.
Ooh.
In color, Jamie Johnson.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Oh, dude,
That's all. Yeah,
Yeah.
Those are some good songs.
I like that.
Put those on your Spotify
I
playlist.
like that
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was organic, as they say in the biz. Oh,
Josh is in the biz.
What kind of timeline does it take to complete a project like the 67 Camaro Survivor Series? Question mark. End sentence.
Which 67? We've done a couple of them.
I know.
Generally, the Survivor stuff, 6 to 8 months, depending on what we got going in the shop and depending on what's going into the build.
Depends on how crazy you get with the motor. Generally,
Yeah.
everything else on the build is around the same. Motor stuff is all over the place. I mean, you can go naturally aspirated LS. I mean, you can get twin turbo. You can get supercharged. You can get, supercharged crate motor. There's all kinds of stuff you can do there, and that kind of deviates on the build side of things. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
What about you? Somebody comes to you for a Survivor Series.
Are we talking about hours or time? I mean, how many guys are you throwing at it?
Oh, workable time. I'm not saying like time in history,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think we did that gold Chevelle in like 6 months.
yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah.
That gold feels fucking sick.
It's fun.
It's
There's
such a
nothing. There's
good-looking
nothing
car.
special about it. It just fucking.
Other than the fact that it looks fucking.
It looks
awesome.
fucking
Yeah.
badass.
We
like,
walked out of the Celeste Center and we were dropping the OBS thing. We walked out and that thing's parked there, right?
looks
Right out of the
good.
building.
yeah.
And like me and him were both like, fuck, that thing's badass. I
Yeah.
mean, we seriously, it was just like,
Even Wyatt flocked to it too.
Yeah.
He's got the eye.
Yeah, it's a cool car. He wasn't sure. He wanted to put black interior. I was like, no fucking way. The gold on gold is where it's at.
good looking fucking car.
Should have put green in it. Man.
Yeah, that would gold for the money, green for the
That's
honey.
Who
Or
said
other way
that?
around. Green for the. You're saying.
Yeah, it's Don
Magic Wand.
Wand. Yeah. Next up, you guys travel a lot. What is each of your favorite city to visit and why?
I'm going to go Florida Keys, unrelated to car shows. Just had a family house there since I was a year old. It's as close as you're going to get to island life in the U.S.
You could just say paradise.
Okay.
It really is.
Just love the water, I don't know, everything about it. It's the place you go on vacation and just shut off and be disconnected.
What about you?
Man, I mean, it'd be tough not to agree with that, but I
I know
like.
you're a big Gary, Indiana fan.
Yeah, Gary is
Dude,
fucking
property's cheap there.
beautiful. Yeah, and you can get yourself a nice little piece of property. Super cheap. Taxes are low. And yeah, no, but yeah, I love the Florida Keys. I mean, it's fucking beautiful down there. But as far as like a place that maybe we pass through on car shows, Nashville. I like it down there in Tennessee. Yeah, Nashville, Franklin
Florida
area,
Georgia Line Bar.
that whole area, pretty cool.
What about you?
Car show, I gotta agree with Jeremy on Nashville. The whole downtown, even though it's changing, turning into more of a Vegas lifestyle.
Sure is.
I liked what it was. It's still pretty fun. Outside of car shows, I'd definitely say I'm gonna go two ways: either Scottsdale, Arizona, or which if I was gonna have a second home, that's where it's gonna be. But a place I like to vacation for a week or two at a time is either gonna be like Marco Island or Naples, Florida.
And Josh likes West Virginia, so thanks, Josh.
Good pull.
Yeah,
Little Jessica White, huh?
yeah.
Scottsdale for me.
Yeah.
I if I was going to second home, I agree. Every time I visit, admittedly, I've never been there in end of July, beginning of August.
Dude, I'm going to tell you something. It is a dry heat.
That's funny you
The
say
cool
that.
part is everyone's your age too.
Yeah, it's a great retirement community for guys like you.
There you go. My buddy that owns the Gold Chevelle, he's from there, and I always tell him, man, I just want to move there. And he's like, well, you've never been here in July, August. I'm like, it can't be any fucking different than being in Illinois in February.
Right.
I'd rather take 2 months of miserable heat. And,
It's a 200-degree difference.
That is true.
No,
That
but
is
it's,
true,
And
but
it's
it's-
also I don't know if I said this before, but it's a dry heat.
It's-
They say.
you did
Yeah.
say that
Did I?
earlier.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
I can come
The
back to
grass-
Illinois for 2 months.
the grass
I'm good
is
with that.
the grass is not always greener. I get that.
There is no
there's
grass.
something about Scottsdale. I mean, run 2 hours up being Flagstaff.
That's
I mean,
right.
you can go to anything. I like it. It's clean. It's a great area.
It's so clean.
I've always liked it. We've
Yeah.
been all over all
I
over the
need-
world, and I just like it.
I need the greenery, man. I need the change of seasons. I need some trees.
Hey, you live in the right neighborhood and you get the greenery. You just pay them to
Plant
Put
it.
some,
put
put
it
some
out
turf
there.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all AstroTurf.
Make it greener. I want more
the
green.
desert is just, yeah, I don't know. Feels like you're on the fucking moon.
This was my answer.
That's fine. It's just tell
Go
me why
ahead.
your answer sucks.
Well, we have paper. We got paper everywhere.
You have a mess of files there.
How many of those did you print out for yourself?
Got the same amount that you have. All right. Thanks again for everybody listening to Oil and Whiskey with the Roadster Shop, an Ironclad original. If you like the show, be sure to leave us a rating and review. I'm going to ask specifically, we're getting some decent ratings. Like, we need the reviews. I'm asking right now to go out there and put the reviews on there. We're going to start reading through the reviews over the next month or two. We're going to pick the best review, and we're going to send you some cool shit.
Where would you like those reviews left?
Where you leave the ratings and the reviews. Wherever you're listening to them, if it's on Spotify, if it's on YouTube, it's on there, leave a rating and review. We've seen some pretty good ones, but the algorithm needs the ratings and the reviews. We've been doing really good. We've got some great fans. We want to see some more ratings and reviews. So we're asking for them. Thanks again to our guest, Troy. I can't roll an R. Go ahead.
It's silent, dude.
Do
Just
it.
go past it.
No, he said if you're going to do the R, you got to roll.
Gudgel.
Gudgel.
Yeah.
It's Troy Gudgel.
Gudgel.
But Phil's always giving me shit because if the end of them, if they're really good, I always like, that's a really good one. And I'm going to start doing it after every one that I think is really good.
Do it after everyone.
Well, I know I'm going to do it again. So now people that are listening right now will know if they're listening to one and I don't do it, they'll know it's a bad one.
They're gonna leave a poor review.
This is actually a really good one. Thanks again for coming.
Thanks,
Seriously,
Troy,
it's
man.
been awesome.
Thanks for having
dude.
me.
Thanks for
Been
listening.
fun.
We'll see you again next week.